28-21 at Hampshire, and then a 12-9 win against Jefferson. They lost their opener against Musselman 29-14, and 2 weeks ago, before going into a bye, suffered a 38-0 loss against a very good South Hagerstown team. We'll see if that bye has maybe helped this young football team to be better prepared for this one.
Yeah, and very much so. I think also with the numbers that they have, I definitely has to help them as far as getting some guys healthy back onto the field and healthier. The ones who are injured, though, I guess the walking wounded that they have, got an extra week to get themselves prepared. But the sad part about this is, Matt, the fact that they are low in numbers. And every guy who gets injured, boy, that's a blow to this football team, because now you're looking at sometimes not necessarily next man up. Find the next man. You're looking for, right guard goes down. It might be your backup left tackle that may have to fill into that spot. So that also makes it tough. Yeah, we're looking at a roster for the Spring Mills Cardinals that has 35 players listed on it. 8 are seniors, 9 are juniors. But Matt Crawford, in talking with Coach Chad Williams yesterday, we'll hear that full conversation later on in our pregame show. The coach said, look, only about 28 of those 35 will be dressed and ready to go on Friday night, so it'll be an uphill climb for a little bit of an undermanned team against these Martinsburg Bulldogs. Well, let's send it down to the sideline, check in with Jason Kolrick as both teams are out and beginning their warm-ups.
Matt, we're down here on an absolutely gorgeous Friday night. The temperatures are starting to get to that level where they're comfortable to come out and watch a football game and to play a football game, and you couldn't ask for a much better evening than what we've got right now. It's probably about 67 degrees. It is a very light wind. I know we're going to look down there and you're going to tell me the flag's not moving. There is a light wind down here keeping it very comfortable, but we're all looking forward to a good football game this evening to see if Martinsburg can go ahead and stay healthy and continue to handle the business at hand.
Yeah, we'll see if they stay focused in this one, because there's a big one right around the corner, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. The pregame show is brought to you by W. Harley Miller Systems, providing custom integration services for home and office automation, home theater, networking, audio, video distribution, and more. They're online at WHMsystems.com or phone 304-350-1931. Again, having some internet issues. We're working with Comcast to get that straightened out, to get us back on WRNR TV on YouTube as well as on TV 10. Right now, it's a Talk Radio WRNR broadcast of West Virginia high school football featuring the Martinsburg Bulldogs. We'll take a break. On the other side, it's our dog tag, a senior profile, and the Bullpup reports.
WRNR Miller Systems understands the need and desire for reliable and affordable smart home solutions. Secure your home with a security system and keep a close eye on your family. Automate your home with a Control4 system and have smart technology work as one. Set daily schedules to control your thermostats. Push a button and set the mood for dinner by dimming lights and playing music, or just sit back and enjoy a movie in your own home theater. Put decades of experience to work for you. Visit us at WHMsystems.com or call 304-350-1931.
It's one of the toughest times you'll ever face when someone close to you passes away. It's a swirl of papers to sign and arrangements to be made, all while you're dealing with grief. At Brown Funeral Home, we encourage you to pre-plan. Pre-planning not only makes things easier for you, it protects you from rising costs. At Brown Funeral Home, our families are precious to us, and so are yours. Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown, Ranson.
J&P Service and Repair is the region's leader in tractor and agricultural equipment repair. And if you can't make it to them, they'll come to you with mobile service available. They also offer repair and maintenance for your light diesel truck. Now's the time to call J&P Service and Repair at 304-240-7379. Find out more online at jpservicerepair.com and check them out on Facebook. J&P Service and Repair, 2892 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg. Built on trust, founded on service. We welcome you back to the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. Time now for the Dog Tag Senior Profile and the Bullpup Report. They're brought to you by the Mirius Group and Ameriprise Financial Advisors, John Everson and Phil McCoy. They're located at 1270 Winchester Avenue in Martinsburg, or with your financial questions, give them a call.
Their number's 304-263-4343. We get it started with our dog tag profile, talking with senior Ty Lucas, offensive and defensive lineman. Ty, talk to us about those two positions and what it is like to play in the trenches for Martinsburg.
It's crazy, coach is always on us. People always like, every year, are they going to be as good as last year? Or are they going to be like, keep up with the people last year? And it's hard, because we never really get the credit we deserve. But that's with every offensive lineman and defensive lineman.
All right, take us to both sides of the football. Let's start on the offensive line. What's that job like? What do you like about it?
I like about it because I like to trap a lot, and that's really what I'm known for. I love just pulling around a corner and knocking someone on their ass. It's a real fun job.
All right, how about on that defensive side? You got a guy maybe coming at you. What's that like?
Just do a couple of hand moves on him. It feels like you're just dancing out there, really. And then just be able to like bull rush someone, especially with my strength, it's quite easy.
You've got some really good experience through your sophomore and junior seasons. How's that helped you coming into this senior year?
It helped me a lot because my sophomore season I practiced with Trey Henry and Jalen and Tavis. So they really built me up to the guy I am today, because playing with them, you got to be tough, because if you're not, you're getting put down.
Is football your favorite sport?
Yes, it's mostly my only sport. I do track too.
What do you do in track?
I do shot put and discus.
When you're not playing football or participating in track, what do you like to do to just kick back and relax?
I live on a farm with my twin brother Tanner, and we usually just ride foilers and play tag. We throw a basketball at each other while we're riding a foiler.
You mentioned your brother. How much fun is it playing with him?
He's funny. He's always making me laugh and nonstop. My mom, we have this thing called the giggles, where me and Tanner just laugh constantly, and my parents get pissed at us.
All right, how about school? How's it going in school? What are some of your favorite classes?
I do all-day Rumsey. I do electrical out there. I really enjoy it, especially my teacher. He's real nice. I like it because I go in at 8:30, I get out 2 o'clock, so it's a bit easier for me.
It's your senior year. You got to be thinking about what comes next. What is it you would like to do?
I would like to go to study, like go to a college and maybe play football to pay for my schooling, but I haven't really decided yet.
Are you getting some offers?
Yes, I have 5 so far.
What has this process been like for you?
It's been crazy, honestly, because I've just been having like coaches follow me and I'll be like, well, another college, and I'm just like pumped up for it, see what they got to say to me.
Well, thank you for your time. We wish you the best in those decisions coming up and the rest of this season.
Thank you.
There you go, Ty Lucas joining us with our Bullpup Report and our Dog Tag Senior Profile. They're brought to you by the Mirius Group. Stay tuned. We'll talk a little freshman and JV football coming up next.
They're my closest friends. We've been through a lot together. Seeing our kids off to college, Kelly losing her mom, my 50th birthday, I trust them with so much. So when it came to my finances, I trusted Kelly's referral to her Ameriprise advisor. Beth gives me the comprehensive advice that helps me feel confident my financial future is secure. With the right financial advisor, life can be brilliant. Ameriprise Financial.
Experience all that the West Virginia Breeders' Classics has to offer. The golf tournament, the gala, the races, experience the classics, the West Virginia Breeders' Classics.
It's time now for the Bullpup Report as we talk freshman and JV football. Getting it started, talking with JV head coach Britt Sherman. Coach, another game this week. How did it play out?
We had a victory last night at Spring Mills, or actually 2 nights ago. I'm messed up with my days. 49-2 at Spring Mills.
Give us an idea of what you saw offensively.
Well, it was a heavy ground game because it was raining pretty hard, so it's tough to get the ball in the air. We did throw a couple of screens. Hudson Clement had 2 really nice catches, 1 screen passes he took for touchdowns, and he actually had 2 picks for us as well. I think he broke about 35 tackles in those 4 plays, so he did a really good job for us.
You mentioned his INTs. What else did you see from your defense?
A lot of effort. We moved a couple freshman guys up to help us play for the JV, and those guys fly around, give a lot of effort, and it was good to see.
You give up 2 points. How did a safety occur?
We got backed up. Actually, defensive stop back deep in their territory, and then we ran a quarterback run, just didn't get enough, and kind of got slung back, and don't really think it was a safety, but you know those guys are JV too, so we're working with that as well. So.
Third game of the season. It seems hard to believe that you've only played that many games. Can you get an idea of the development of these young players through those three?
Well, you know, we've lost a couple guys because that's what JV's for, to get them ready for the varsity level. So, you know, they've developed some. I, of course, would love to have more games, but, you know, I think it has helped them a lot. Just, you know, game situations aren't like practice, you know. We can't be there right with them, so some of them needed that maturity to then move on to the varsity level, and some of them have.
What is next for your team?
We go 2 weeks to Jefferson. So we get Jefferson in 2 weeks.
So back to another bye and back to the grinds of practice.
Yeah, I think this was kind of a bye that was planned, just so we can have all hands on deck for practice next week.
There you go, Coach. Congratulations on another win. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, Matt.
Britt Sherman, JV head coach, joining us with our Bullpup report. Stay tuned. We'll talk freshman football next. We continue our Bullpup report as we talk freshman football with head coach Kip Schallis. Coach, a week off, but not one that you had scheduled. So how does your team kind of take this week when you were hoping to be playing a game?
We were hoping to be playing a game, but unfortunately it didn't work out for us. So we had to think of some creative ways to be productive. So we decided we're going to use some academic time. So we have 2 study hall periods on Tuesdays and Thursdays for the next 2 weeks, where we meet for an hour, and we have some teachers that come down and assist us, and we just try to gather. The end of the 9 weeks is coming up, so we're trying to make sure that our students are supported in the classroom as well on the field.
You mentioned as well a little bit of a chance to kind of do some running, some stretching, those types of things. How important is that kind of staying in shape in the midst of a season?
It's very important. You can get out of shape pretty quick in terms of, it's always important to, you know, just to condition the body and the lungs and just get them breathing and move them fast. So we'll do an hour workout after our study hall, and then the normal days we do just our normal practice where they're getting their cardio in.
When you look at the success that you guys have had, what are the elements of the game that you really want to be working on each practice session?
We're just trying to get crisp with everything we do. When we watch film, we're pretty selective in what we show them, and even when we've had great success, if you look at a couple individual plays, it's one little thing, one little breakdown by maybe one player or 2 players that didn't allow that to get the first down or didn't allow it to score a touchdown. So, you know, we try to focus on just being crisp and making sure that everybody's on the right assignment every play.
How coachable are you finding these young guys? How are they taking that instruction?
These guys are great. It's always hard to hear, you know, the first couple times when you're young that you're not doing something right, and a lot of kids want to defend themselves, but these guys are great. They take it, and they trust us, so that's a big factor. But they take what we're talking to them about, and they take it, and a lot of times we haven't had to correct that again. So they're very coachable, and they're learning well for us.
What is next for your team?
Well, we get another week of study halls and practice, and then October 23rd we go at Fort Hill. So we get that's a little bit on the outside. We're looking in still at that. So we hope to get that game in, and we'll be ready for that. That's for sure.
Coach, thank you for your time. Enjoy another week off.
Thank you.
Freshman head coach Kip Schallis joining us with our Bullpup report, along with the Dog Tag Senior Profile. They're brought to you by the Mirius Group and Ameriprise Financial Advisors John Everson and Phil McCoy. If you have financial questions, give them a call at 304-263-4343 or stop by their office there at 1270 Winchester Avenue in Martinsburg. We've got more of the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show coming up. This is West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
If you're not progressing in healthcare, you're falling behind.
W Medicine has planted itself here, and they're the first university that I've found who wants to take ownership of this population of Western Maryland, Southern Pennsylvania, Eastern Ohio, and the good people of West Virginia. And it's really refreshing to see.
I was able to do things that the patients were going away for, which is good for the patients, and it's good for us because we have more resources. Certainly has helped take us to another level.
Let's talk trash, because when it comes to trash, you have options. Panhandle Dumpsters is a local family-owned garbage hauling company serving both residential and commercial customers with weekly trash pickup, dumpster service, yard waste pickup, and bulk pickups too. Panhandle Dumpsters will give you a free trash can and provide curbside service for just $23 a month. Panhandle Dumpsters features a fleet of quieter, eco-friendly garbage trucks, thereby reducing the noise usually associated with pickup. Switch now and save up to 30%. Call 833-DUMP-STR, panhandledumpsters.com.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
And we welcome you back into the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. We've been able to get the internet issues worked out, and now the full broadcast available on TV10 and WRNR TV on YouTube, as well as each of our Talk Radio WRNR broadcast entities. Just in time. Jason.
And I'm down here with Coach. Coach, last week temperatures were kind of cool like this, and you said you loved it. You had a full week of that. How'd that go with practice this week?
Yeah, we had another good week of practice. It was, the weather was good, and you start to feel fall in the air. So anytime I think the temperature changes, it gives you a little pep in your step.
Coach, it's obviously week 7. Season seems to be flying by. Talk to me about the progress that your team has made thus far, and maybe some of the things you'd like to see working on.
I think we've been pretty consistent throughout the year. I mean, you always worry early in the year about how you
kids this age not to look past spring meals tonight?
I mean, we haven't talked about anything but spring meals. So if they're looking ahead, it's them amongst themselves. I mean, as far as the staff, we've been totally focused on spring meals. So there shouldn't be any looking ahead. But you never know when you deal with young kids. But practice has all been spring meals.
Coach, I noticed that Teddy Marshall's walking around without a uniform. Obviously, he's injured. What's the status for him? And maybe are some other dings on the team?
We're pretty healthy. Teddy rolled his ankle this week in practice, so he could probably go if we needed him to, but it's just more precautionary than anything.
Throughout the season, one of the themes is your defense. Your defense has played tough, not giving up many yards and obviously not many points. What do you attribute that to?
They're working the off season, the weight room, the fact that we're physical and we're strong and we're fast. I think it totally comes down to the work they put in preparation for the season.
And then on the offensive side, Elijah took over as the full-time quarterback this year. How happy are you with his progress thus far, and maybe what you'd like to see from him through the remainder of the season before the playoffs start?
I'm very pleased with what he's doing. He's doing everything we asked him to do, and with more reps, he's just gotten better and I think he'll continue to do that. He's throwing the ball well and making a good decision. So and he's been really accurate. So you're doing those things, you're only going to be successful.
Obviously, you do have a big game next week. What would you like to see your team accomplish this week other than a victory?
I'd like to come out of it healthy, obviously. Just execute, minimize mistakes, not have a lot of penalties, and just play fast and physical.
Thanks, Coach. We'll talk to you at halftime.
Thank you.
There you go, Matt. Just a few thoughts from Coach Walker before we get this contest started.
Jason Colrick with head coach David Walker in the end zone. The conversation brought to you by Parsons Ford at 1400 Shepherdstown Road. If you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, be sure to check out their great selection online at ParsonsFordOfMartinsburg.com. They became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons. The Martinsburg Bulldogs 6-0 on the season. Spring Mills 3-2 heading into this matchup. It'll be the 7th time that these programs have gotten together, as Spring Mills is only in its 7th season, opening in the fall of 2013, and they went 1-9 in that inaugural year without seniors. Their first win, 21-14 in Week 8 against Clear Spring. They went 5-5 in their second season, and in 2015, the best record so far in a season, 7-4, went 7-3 in the regular season, lost against number 4 Capital in the postseason. That started a run of 4 consecutive playoff appearances, and at 3-2, this team is right in the mix again to get into the playoffs.
Well, it could be a little bit of a struggle, but at the same time, it's very reachable. I mean, 5-5 is going to get you probably in the playoffs again this year. It's the number of teams that we have in the AAA level, and you're taking the top 16. Again, you know, the 5-5 team, and if you're playing the AAA schedule, you have a good shot of making it into the playoffs.
This game tonight could go a long way for Spring Mills. If they can find a way to pull the upset, it would be a major one, as Martinsburg comes in riding a 48-game winning streak, including 59 consecutive home victories against West Virginia opponents. 30 of those have come in the regular season. But we need to take a break on our W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. When we come back, we'll find out what else is going on around the Eastern Panhandle Athletic Conference. It's the check of the area schedule. This is West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
Floodwaters can spread E. coli bacteria. Here's Bill Kearns from the Berkeley County Health Department about what to do if your well is tested positive.
If it's just a one-time contamination, you can superchlorinate your well, which we have instructions at the health department. They could call and talk to us. You're providing an excessive amount of bleach down the well. Then you do a runoff to get that out of the system, to get the bleach through your lines, get any contamination out there. You do a runoff of so long, and then you can have it tested again.
The Berkeley County Health Department, 122 Waverly Court in Martinsburg. Call 304-263-5131.
They're my closest friends. We've been through a lot together. Seeing our kids off to college, Kelly losing her mom, my 50th birthday, I trust them with so much. So when it came to my finances, I trusted Kelly's referral to her Ameriprise advisor. Beth gives me the comprehensive advice that helps me feel confident my financial future is secure. With the right financial advisor, life can be brilliant. Ameriprise Financial.
Over? It's not over until we say it's over. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? No!
After an eternity in the cold trenches filled with the sinew of flesh.
When the going gets tough, the tough get going.
Men have to dig down deep and grab a hold of anything they can for motivation.
Let's go!
Rock's Coffee, a great pick-me-upper.
You care about your car, so you take it to the best mechanic. You love your dog, so you take it to a vet you trust. So why go with just anyone when it comes to your insurance? With a local Allstate agent, you get expert advice you can trust and the best coverage for you. And because they live in your community, you can always count on them to be there when you need them the most.
Call Allstate agent Gary Kelly today at 304-263-4596. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
We welcome you back to the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. Time now for the check of the area schedule, brought to you by Kelly Allstate Insurance, a full-line insurance agency on Lakeview Drive near the intersection of Rockcliffe Drive in Martinsburg. Just 2 other games on the EPAC schedule. One of those a head-to-head matchup. It has Musselman visiting Hedgesville, 2 teams that so far this season have gone in opposite directions. Let's start with the Applemen, who at 5-1 are ranked number 4 in the Mountain State in Class AAA. They're coming off a 35-6 win against Morgantown. Hedgesville 0-6, one of 3 AAA teams still looking for their first win. Nonetheless, it's a rivalry matchup, and Musselman head coach Brian Thomas knows you can't take anything for granted.
When you play this thing, you throw the records out the window. They've been playing since 1950, so it's been a really long-standing rivalry. We know that they're not having the best of seasons. But having said that, if you ask anybody in their program, hey, you can go 1-9 this year, pick which game you want to win, probably all Hedgesville's program would say, hey, we want to beat Musselman. So we know that it would make their year to beat us, and we know that they're going to come out with some things and kind of throw everything at us. So we just kind of have to withstand what they're doing and play our game, and I think we'll be okay.
Hedgesville is trying to bounce back from a 64-6 setback at the hands of Fort Hill last week, and for the Eagles, this is their final home game of the regular season. Head coach Joey Urish.
Senior night in October, it's kind of ironic for our guys to have to deal with that, but they're excited for it. You know, our guys are excited to play Musselman, and it's always been a huge rivalry. And talking to Coach Merrick, I had him, address the team yesterday and give them a little history on what the rivalry really means. And this was the first true rivalry in Broken County, so it's a big thing around here for both schools. And Brian graduating from Hedgesville, I'm sure he's thinking the same thing, to kind of come over here and get a win against his alumni.
Musselman has won 11 straight in this series, dating back to 2007. They won last year in a tight one, 12-7. The final. Tonight's kickoff at Mumas Stadium is at 7 p.m. The Washington Patriots will be at Frankfort to take on the Falcons tonight. Washington coming in at 2-3, looking for a bounce back after a 62-0 loss at Martinsburg last week. Washington head coach Glenn Simpson feels this could be a much more competitive game.
We're going to have to fight our tails off, but I think that we can compete with this team. Again, we've been on the field with some high caliber opponents over the first half of the year. And so, we're not scared of this game, but, we are certainly aware of the talent that they have. But I feel like this is a competitive situation for us.
It still will not be easy. Frankfurt is at 5-1 on the season. They won last year's matchup over Washington 62-37. Tonight's kickoff at Frankfurt is at 7 p.m. And Jefferson is on a bye this week after a tough 27-20 loss against Dominion last Friday. That has Jefferson at just 1-5 on the season. Head coach Craig Hunter.
It comes at a great time for us. So we still got some kids. We got some key kids still injured. It gives them another week to get healthy, and plus, like I said, we got a chance to sit back, look at everything, take a glance at everything, look at the picture, and see what we need to really hone in on this week.
Jefferson will get back to action next Friday as they entertain South Hagerstown. And our game tonight has 3-2 Spring Mills at 6-0 Martinsburg. We'll continue to preview the matchup on the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show after this timeout. It wraps up our check of the area schedule, brought to you by Kelly Allstate Insurance at 724 Lakeview Drive near the intersection of Rockcliffe Drive in Martinsburg. Phone 304-263-4596. This is West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
Hi, this is Eric from Hagerstown Ford. I keep telling you that Hagerstown Ford has completely changed the car buying experience forever. And with a return policy easier than Walmart, Hagerstown Ford has a goal to deliver 350 cars and trucks per month. And when I say deliver, I mean deliver to you, where you are, just like Amazon does. And if you don't want it, return it. No questions asked. The only way Hagerstown Ford can accomplish this extremely aggressive goal is to make the car buying process fast and easy. We simply refuse to play the dumb back and forth games that most dealerships want to play. There's absolutely no reason for you to waste your precious time at a car dealership. I assure you, there is no dealership from Winchester, Virginia to Washington, D.C. that can beat our price. There's no dealership that will allow you to return your new car if you don't want it. Hagerstown Ford absolutely has the best price, and we'll bring the car to you. And if you don't want it, return it, period. No questions asked. There's no reason to buy anywhere else. Visit HagerstownFord.com to schedule your VIP experience and get your new ride delivered to you.
Contact dealer for details.
If you're not progressing in healthcare, you're falling behind.
W Medicine has planted itself here, and they're the first university that I've found who wants to take ownership of this population of Western Maryland, Southern Pennsylvania, Eastern Ohio, and the good people of West Virginia. And it's really refreshing to see.
I was able to do things that the patients were going away for, which is good for the patients, and it's good for us because we have more resources.
Certainly has helped take us to another level.
At Anthony's Pizza Inwood location, nobody does it better. We make our own dough and we bake it fresh twice daily. That's freshly baked twice a day to make sure your pizza always tastes great. Take advantage of our Anthony's Pizza special offer. Get 2 large one-topping pizzas, just $17.99. And when you buy 3 12-inch subs, the 4th one's on us. For the best in freshly made pizzas, subs, calzones, stromboli, lasagna, and more, it's got to be Anthony's Pizza, 372 Middleway Pike in Inwood. Call 229-7373 for delivery, anthonysmenu.com.
We welcome you back into Coburn Field, where tonight it's the Martinsburg Bulldogs playing host to the Spring Mills Cardinals. Matt Miller along with Vic Holmes, with Jason Kolbrick on the sideline. Matt Crawford, our engineer at the studio. Zach Van Meter and Eric Sterick running cameras, with Ash Gurry as our on-site producer. Well, Vic, as we begin to break down this matchup, we're looking at a Spring Mills team that comes in averaging about 118 passing yards a game, 142 rushing yards a game, and that means overall they've had 1,303 total yards of offense. They've given up just about 1,364, including 182 on the ground, but only about 90 passing yards a game. That will be tested today by this Martinsburg passing attack led by quarterback Elijah Banks.
Yes, it definitely will be tested. The main thing is, Matt, that these teams, when they play Martinsburg, tend to get behind very quickly. So, consequently, if you're a running team, you've got some real serious problems on your hands, because this team always seems to jump out on everybody early in the ball game. You're down last week, maybe less than 15 seconds, and it's 14-0, and all of a sudden your game plan is almost out the window. So things change very, very quickly, because defensively Martinsburg is so strong that, you know, when you get the football, you've got to, as we say, make hay while it shines. When you get the football, you got to hold on to it for a while. You got to hopefully be able to put it in the end zone and get some points on the board. If not, if you got to give it up, you got to punt it away. They're coming right back at you. And sad part about it is sometimes it's not even the offense, the punt return or kickoff return they're so good at. So again, there's so many areas that they can hit you with.
Well, and you look at that Martinsburg offense and defense, the Bulldogs averaging right around 187 rushing yards a game, and very balanced, 176 passing yards, so that is about 363 total yards a game, but defensively giving up just 39 rushing yards and only 61 passing yards for just about 100 yards a game.
Well, you know, the amazing part about this is the fact that Martinsburg can dominate in the passing game if they choose to, or they can dominate in the run game. So that's one of the reasons they're so balanced, is because they can do so much on either side of the ball. They haven't had to do it virtually a whole ball game thus far, even though with a couple of the better teams they played, they didn't have to do it even in those ball games. Key for this team tonight, again, is going to be the same thing everybody else has, and we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Well, and as you're saying, I mean, we always hear Coach Walker comment, we want to take what the defense gives us. So if you say we're going to stop that run and put everybody in the box, they've got the weapons on the outside and a quarterback that can get them the football, and they'll stretch you out that way. So now you stretch out and say, okay, we're not going to let you beat us with that passing game, which is what Hedgesville tried to do, and Martinsburg runs the football.
Yeah, they ran the football. I mean, you're virtually looking at like a 3-4, 3-5 defensively, and, you know, so, you know, why try to beat them where their strength is? Just run the football, and that's all they did. And obviously, you know, Coach Walker's been around the block many, many times, and, you know, he's no dummy. He would not have been in this position and done what he's done by not doing those things. And I think a lot of coaches sometimes will try to stick to their philosophy coming into the ball game instead of doing exactly what he did. Take what they give you. If they give you the run, you take the run. If they're backing off of you, giving you the shorter passes, the quick slants, they're giving you some of the short stop patterns, you take all of those until they take them away, and that's what they do. And so far, and with the athletes they have, it's so difficult to really contain them.
The stat of the day, you mentioned a moment ago, teams fall behind against these Bulldogs so quickly, it takes them out of what they want to do. Martinsburg has outscored their opponents this season 123-0 in the opening quarter and 102-20 in the second quarter. Then you look at the prior 6 matchups between these two teams, and Spring Mills has not scored a first-half touchdown against Martinsburg in 6 tries. They got to find a way to get some points early in this one.
Yeah, they got to find a way, and of course, it's obviously going to be very, very difficult with the personnel that they have. They got even have some injured people out there, so it makes it even that much more difficult for them.
Pre-game show brought to you by W. Harley Miller Systems. Find out more online at WHMSystems.com or phone 304-350-1931. When we come back, Matt Crawford's back at the studio. Earlier this week, he had a chance to catch up with Spring Mill's second-year head coach Chad Williams. We'll hear that conversation after this timeout. It's West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
My family, we're always on the move. Little brother is living it up.
What's up, sis?
See Mom made dinner?
I will see you there.
And my big brother, he's got his hands full. But when Mom says come home for dinner, what could possibly stand in our way? Nothing. When you're part of a family like this, you always show up. The Honda family of SUVs, awarded Best SUV Brand for 2019.
Miller Honda, south of Winchester, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. www.mymillerhonda.com.
He is the most interesting jeweler in the world. Celebrities ask for his autograph. When buying diamonds, experts ask him what they're worth. He once counted to infinity twice. He has his own astrological sign.
I may not sell every customer that comes into Bechtel Jewelers, but on the rare occasions when I don't, they often wish I had. Stay brilliant, my friends.
J&P Service and Repair is the region's leader in tractor and agricultural equipment repair. And if you can't make it to them, they'll come to you with mobile service available. They also offer repair and maintenance for your light diesel truck. Now's the time to call J&P Service and Repair at 304-240-7379. Find out more online at jpservicerepair.com and check them out on Facebook. J&P Service and Repair, 2892 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg. Built on trust, founded on service.
And we welcome you back into the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. It's time to talk to a opposing coach, second-year Spring Mill head coach Chad Williams. Coach, coming off a bye week, how did that fit for your team at this point in the season?
It was a perfect time for us to have a bye week with a lot of injuries, a lot of guys banged up and trying to do some new things. We finally got a chance to not have to worry about an opponent for a week and go back to kind of camp mode. And work with a new group of guys, the group of guys that we're going to be playing with the rest of the season going forward.
When you looked at that 2 weeks off, did you spend that whole first week just going back to fundamentals and basics and trying to keep everybody healthy?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a lot of guys playing positions that they hadn't worked in August, they hadn't worked over the summertime, and they were kind of thrown into those spots due to injury, especially at the running back position, where I think we've had 5 different guys running in and out of that position this year. We spent that entire week off really just going back to doing some of the stuff you'd do in August.
You mentioned trying to get guys healthy. Are you relatively healthy for the guys that you were expecting to be here at this point in the season?
Yeah, I mean, we're playing with what we've got. I think we've got 28 guys dressed right now. We started the year with over 40, so we're playing with what we got. We're happy with what we've got. We've got a great group of guys. We've had 2 really good weeks of practice, and I'm excited to see how this second half of the season plans out.
At this point in the season, I know coaches handle this a little bit differently. Do you talk about those playoff rankings at all, or is it just one game at a time?
Really, at this point, it's just one game at a time. I mean, it's always on your mind, but we're just trying to win every week. That's it.
Martinsburg on the schedule coming up tonight. What do you see in the Dogs this year?
Tremendously athletic team. Probably the best coach team in the state. Dave and his staff do a great job. They've got a lot of great athletes, and and obviously it shows. I think they've got the second longest winning streak in the country right now. So, we're hoping to see what we can do with that.
There's Spring Mill's head coach Chad Williams, a part of our W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. We'll be back with keys to the game next. This is West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio, WRNR, and
Floodwaters can spread E. coli bacteria. Here's Bill Kearns from the Berkeley County Health Department about what to do if your well is tested positive.
If it's just a one-time contamination, you can superchlorinate your well, which we have instructions at the health department. They could call and talk to us. You're providing an excessive amount of bleach down the well. Then you do a runoff to get that out of the system, to get the bleach through your lines, get any contamination out there. You do a runoff of so long, and then you can have it tested again.
The Berkeley County Health Department, 122 Waverly Court in Martinsburg. Call 304-263-5131.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
Who should you call when it comes to your real estate legal needs?
This is Chris Luttrell, local real estate attorney with offices in Martinsburg and Charlestown. Let's be direct. Buying or selling your home is a matter not to be taken lightly. At my firm, Luttrell LC, we possess the experience and knowledge to represent you and ensure your most important investment is protected. Give us a call at 304-267-3050, 304-267-3050, because at Luttrell LC, your home is our business.
No questions asked. Never set foot in a dealership again.
We welcome you back into the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. As we wrap it up, it's time for Keys to the Game, brought to you by Luttrell LC. Let Chris Luttrell hand you the keys to your new home for all of your real estate legal needs. Phone 304-267-3050. Vic, you hinted at it earlier. Now you answer the question. The key tonight for Spring Mills.
Now, it's going to be just a gigantic task, obviously, for them to win this football game tonight. But, you know, there's another game next week for Spring Mills and also for Martinsburg. And Spring Mills, you know, tonight you may be actually playing for next week, because what you're going to see tonight, you're not going to see the rest of the season. So it's going to be very, very difficult. You know, everybody's keys are pretty much going to be the same against Martinsburg, and try to keep the ball away from them. Yeah. And the best way you can is you've got to do something on first and second down. You can't have 3rd and 5 or greater, because this team doesn't lend to that. They just do not give up first downs that way. They very rarely even give up first downs on penalties. So you've got to do something on first and second down offensively, and to try to keep the ball game going. I still think you got to do one thing Hedgesville did do well, I thought, was run that play clock down. When you get to that 5-second count on the play clock, and then snap the ball no sooner than that. And this runs time off the clock. You allow yourself to keep the ball a little bit longer than your opponent, Martinsburg. You don't want to give the ball up to them. But key is, again, you can't make mistakes, and you're going to make some, but you just hope that they don't hurt you too much tonight.
Well, and you mentioned those 2 keys, the third downs. You got to try to get in 3rd and shorts, because the Dogs do not give up a lot of third downs. How about just 19.35%? And you mentioned you can't make mistakes. The Bulldogs are plus 19 in the turnover category, forcing 24 takeaways, 13 picks, 11 fumbles. They've given it up only 5 times themselves. Quickly, Martinsburg, keys to the game.
Well, again, pretty much same as every week. Just be yourself. Come out and do what you do. Run your offense. Might see, I was lucky. I think it was 2 weeks ago, I said you might see a couple new plays here or there. You might see them go back to those new plays, and you might see a couple other new plays also added in there, and primarily that's going to be for next week. Yep. To give Salem something a little bit more to think about as far as the scouting report is concerned, but they're not going to do anything any different. If they play the way they have been playing, then I think obviously they'll do well tonight.
There you go. Keys to the Game brought to you by Chris Luttrell at Luttrell LC. Locally owned. They know the business, and they're part of the community. You can win every time when it comes to your real estate legal needs by calling Chris Luttrell at 304-267-3050. Before we wrap up our pregame coverage, let's go back down to the sideline and join Jason.
Man, I got an absolutely lovely night down here. The sun is set, the lights are taking effect, and actually a decent crowd for this matchup on the Martinsburg side. People just are, looking forward to a football game. Obviously, Martinsburg's on the road next week, so not a bad crowd at all down down here, obviously anticipating that Martinsburg is going to be able to do what they want. But, let's see what Spring Mills is able to bring out here tonight.
There you go, the final word on our pregame show. We're waiting for the Martinsburg Marching Band and Junior ROTC. They'll present the colors and have our national anthem. Martinsburg will come busting through that tunnel out of the back of the end zone to our left. The captains will meet for the coin toss, and we'll get ready for the opening kick. We got to take a break, but when we return, it is a look at your starting lineups. It's West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
Remember that last trip to the auto mechanic?
I also think your solenoid gasket is bad.
What?
Yep, that'll be another $500.
Forget that and go to D&N Auto Specialist at 230 Tavern Road, Martinsburg, where honesty is their best policy. Serving the Eastern Panhandle since 1974, D&N Auto is family-owned and operated, specializing in exhaust alignments and tires. From general maintenance to major overhauls, they'll treat you right. Call D&N Auto Specialist at 304-267-4078.
For great food and a comfortable atmosphere, come to the Palace Lounge on Edwin Miller Boulevard, featuring the breakfast menu served all day, every day, and weeknight specials from 5 to 9. Monday is burger night, a quarter-pound all-beef patty for $1.50, and fresh wings. Tuesday night is prime rib night, just $14.99, and spaghetti for $8.99. Wednesday is steak night. Thursday, half a pound of steamed shrimp, just $9.99. Friday and Saturday, the chef's special from 5 until 10, and Sunday is wings and tacos. That's the Palace Lounge on Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg.
And that concludes today's pregame show.
We play every play like it's the most important play of the game.
Let's go. Coming up next, it's the starting lineups, opening kick, and play-by-play action of West Virginia high school football. Today's game is being brought to you by
Parsons Ford, your friendly Martinsburg Ford dealer. Bechtel Jewelers, Route 11 South, Inwood. Berkeley at Morgan County Health Department. Prevent, promote, protect. Panhandle Dumpsters, because you have a choice. PanhandleDumpsters.com. Miller Honda, just one click away at MyMillerHonda.com. The Marius Group, start planning for a brilliant future. Johnny's, restaurant quality foods at wholesale prices. J&P Service and Repair, getting your tractor back in gear. Hagerstown Ford, FordofHagerstown.com. And WVU Medicine University Healthcare, West Virginia's largest healthcare provider.
And now, let's go back to the field and rejoin our Talk Radio WRNR broadcast team.
And we welcome you back into Coburn Field, getting ready for tonight's matchup with the Martinsburg Bulldogs, entertaining the Spring Mills Cardinals. Time for us to check out starting lineups. They're brought to you by D&N Auto Specialist. If your vehicle is not starting properly, then start at D&N Auto to get it fixed right the first time. Family owned and operated since 1974. Phone them at 304-267-4078. Let's begin with Spring Mills. Their starting quarterback will be Chase Henson. Wide receivers are Bernard Newman, Jalen Burton, and Zylan Williams. The starting tight end is Jacob Barrick. The starting running back is Dominic Buskey. Tackles are Richie Harper and Jake Martin. The guards are Braden Tumlin and Chase Keener. And the starting center is Will Garland. That is where this game could be won or lost. Those guys up front, a tough task against the front offensive line as well as defensive line for Martinsburg. Defensively for Spring Mills, Jacob Sedlitsky is a defensive end along with Zach McIntyre. Defensive tackles are Bodie Ramsbottom and Rocco Santor. Inside linebackers, Chase Henson and Nakasi Jackson. The outside backers are Jacob Barrick and Dominic Buskey. The corners, Zylan Williams and Jalen Burton, and the starting free safety is Bernard Newman. For the Martinsburg Bulldogs, Elijah Banks will start at quarterback with Naeem Kearney joining him in the backfield. Wideouts tonight, Gerard Bowie, Malachi Brown, Anthony Smith, and Jarvis Thurston. Thurston getting the start for Teddy Marshall. If you missed it earlier in the pregame show, we were told of a sprained ankle that Teddy Marshall suffered in practice during the week. He will not play tonight. The tackles are Terrell Good and Matt Bednarski. Guards, Michael Turner and Ty Lucas, and Jacob Zittel is at center. We'll see Christian Slack in there at center as well. Defensively, Matt Bednarski and Terrell Good are the ends. Ty Lucas, the nose guard. Linebackers, Braxton Todd, Bryce Morris, Quentin Brown, Trey Sine, and Malachi Brown. It will be Dorn Smith at corner, and replacing Teddy Marshall once again is Jarvis Thurston. The starting free safety will be Anthony Smith. That is a look at lineups and brought to you by D&N Auto Specialist, where honesty is their best policy. They specialize in exhaust alignments and tires. Call D&N Auto Specialist at 304-267-4078. Captains meeting at midfield, going over some general discussion with our head referee. That referee, by the way, is Joe Cox. J.P. Jones is the umpire. David Davis, the line judge. Jeff Zombro, the linesman. And Kim Reed is the back judge. We need to take one final 30-second break before returning for the kickoff. We'll do that once we have the coin flip, the coin in the air. Looks like Martinsburg may very well have won as the conversation is going on with Elijah Banks. Spring Mills moving to the left side of the 50-yard line, so Martinsburg, it looks like will get the football if I read correctly. Well, let's send it back to the studio. A 30-second break. We're back with the opening kick after this as Martinsburg hosts Spring Mills.
First impressions count, and your sign is your signature. Davis Designs is locally owned and locally operated with a legacy that spans over 30 years. Davis Designs is your one-stop shop for custom handcrafted signs, banners, vehicle lettering, design services, and vehicle wraps. Everything from temporary signs to hand-painted gold leafs. Go see Tom for anything from mild to wild. Call 304-267-7807. Follow them on Facebook at Davis Designs or stop by at 1404 New York Avenue in Martinsburg. Create your design today.
Well, didn't quite read the signals right from our head referee, Joe Cox. Martinsburg won the toss, but they deferred, so Spring Mills will get the football as we get this one started. Our opening kick is brought to you by Davis Designs. They remind you first impressions mean a lot. Personal and business signs, vehicle wraps from mild to wild. Let Tom take care of all your signage needs. Davis Designs at 1404 New York Avenue in Martinsburg. Check them out on Facebook or phone 304-267-7807. It looks like Chris Catlett who will put it on the tee and get this kick away. Two men are back deep looking to return this kick. Along the near side is Bernard Newman. Have not quite gotten the number of the young man on the far side hash mark. He's going to be the one to get the return, catching it at the far side 9-yard line. He'll try to work his way across the field, now cutting up, getting out beyond the 20, and then sliding down very quickly there. That is a 1-8 on the return, and that is Zylan Williams, the sophomore, who brings the football out to about the 22. First opportunity for Spring Mills with the football, led by their starting quarterback, Chase Henson. 24 of 53, 322 yards, has thrown for 7 touchdowns and just 2 interceptions. He'll come to the line with 3 receivers tightly bunched to the left. It's a quick pitch, and the tailback looking to turn the corner on that left side, and virtually no place to go for the running back. And that looks again like Williams, who took that pitch. He is going to pick up about 1 yard to the 23, and that is it. Bednarski in there to help make that stop from the 23-yard line. A 2nd down and 9 coming.
Good job by Bednarski on that play. He's able to take on his blocker, drive him down to the ground, and then slide out there to his outside and make that tackle.
Back now lining up to the left of the quarterback. That looks like Jake McCarron out there. Snap is back. Henson throwing deep along the near side. Has an open receiver, but overthrows that intended target. Getting behind the defense along the near side was J.B. Barrick. He is listed as a tight end, and the sophomore got a little behind Dorn Smith, but that throw a little too much on it. Incomplete, brings up a 3rd down and 9.
He caught Dorn Smith, I think, looking into the backfield on that particular play as a defensive back. That's one thing you don't want to do. You don't want to be caught looking into the backfield.
It brings up 3rd and long. 3 receivers lining up here to the wide side right. Henson out of the gun, awaiting that snap. He's got it, wants to throw deep down the near seam, and that pass is incomplete. Had two receivers running almost side by side as Bernard Newman and Zylan Williams were both running down the middle of the field, and the pass overthrown incomplete. You had two defenders back there. That would have been a tough ball to try to squeeze into either one of those guys.
Yes, it was. And those two guys were so close together, pattern. Somebody had to run one a little bit off course. So again, an early exit here. 4th down, 4th and 9. 1 yard on first down, and after that, now we're looking at incomplete passes.
Bernard Newman to punt it out of there. 4 punts, an average of 31 yards a kick to this point. It's a low bouncer that ends up in Bulldog territory and eventually will be touched dead by Jalen Burton, and Martinsburg will have it at their own 44-yard line. That is a punt that covers 33 yards with no return. No score, 10:53 to play in quarter number 1, and Martinsburg gets their first offensive opportunity. Leading the charge, Elijah Banks. Vic completing 67% of his passes, 60 of 89 for 1,057 yards, 20 touchdowns, only 3 INTs.
You can't ask for much more than that. He's had a fantastic year thus far.
Out of the shotgun, he'll give that little touch pass to Gerard Bowie coming near side. He'll get wrapped up and taken down at midfield. Williams getting some help from Barick to make that stop, and that gain will be good for about 6 yards. That is a pass completion on the little touch pass as Bowie comes in motion, and on the snap back, it's a case where Banks just kind of tips it right into the hands of the receiver coming by. On 2nd and 4, handoff Naeem Kearney, looks for running room off that right side, cuts it up and gets hit and taken down pretty quickly. Nice job on that play by Cozy Jackson. He's a sophomore listed as a defensive end, and eventually Jalen Burton helping to make the stop for a loss of 2.
Yeah, you're right. Good job defensively that time. And, Martinsburg came into a very condensed offense that time, and they got matched up pretty well that time. A couple guys went unblocked.
On 3rd down and 6, Banks will again have Kearney out there to the left of him. 3 receivers here to this wide side left. Single receiver back to the right. Play call coming in from the near sideline. The snap is back. Banks to throw and overthrows the intended target. That was Gerard Bowie, a slot receiver who went down and did a simple curl, and that pass a little above him and incomplete, and a miscommunication. He also slipped a little bit coming out of his break.
Yes, that was kind of amazing because I really thought they really had exactly what they wanted. There was virtually 3 guys over here on this side, and they were playing a zone, and there was only 2 who actually dropped back into the zone area. But there was a miscommunication on the throw and the cut. So 4th down will come up, and Martinsburg will punt it away, first possession.
Trey Sign in to punt it out of there. Has not punted a lot. 9 punts, an average of 38 yards, along of 52 and 5. He's put out inside the 20. He rolls to the far side, gets some room, and punts it out of there. That one floating down to the 5, taking a bounce sideways. Touched by Malachi Brown, and then down right at the 5-yard line as Anthony Smith is down there with Brown. And there's another one inside of the 20-yard line as that punt covers 47 yards with no return.
Well, I'll tell you what, he was going to run that one. He almost took off with it over there on the far side in front of the Spring Mills bench, but there was one defender who started to back up and then came forward. Had he not done that, he was going to run for it. He would have been able to get it had he not retreated.
We will check in with Jason on the sideline in a moment. Henson out there taking the snap, giving that little touch pass to a man coming in motion. He gets met in the backfield and very quickly spun down. Terrell Good helping to make that stop. Also on that stop, Michael Turner. That quick touch pass going to J.B. Barick, who had come in motion. It ends up being a loss of 3. Let's check in with Jason down on the sidelines.
3.
And not picking up Jason right now. We'll get back to him in just a moment. A 2nd down and 13 yards to go for a first. And Vic, this is tough territory for a down and distance like this.
It most certainly is. You got to be very careful here if you're Spring Mills. You don't want to make a fatal mistake here.
They'll keep it on the ground, and the tailback met and driven backwards very quickly. Taken down on the play is Dominic Buskey. He is a sophomore listed on the roster as a tight end. He's playing running back in this one. He's going to lose, we'll call it a yard, back inside the 1 as we now check in with Jason.
That was a dangerous play there by Spring Mills. The running back was able to actually barely get out. In this kind of circumstance, you kind of wonder why not just line your quarterback up and give yourself a little bit more room down here.
They will line him up in the shotgun one more time as Chase Henson will get ready to take that snap. Junior quarterback again with Buskey to his left side. He's going to throw out of the end zone deep along the near side. Overthrows everyone. That one landing at the near side numbers 30-yard line, some 10 to 15 yards ahead of his intended target, Jalen Burton.
That wasn't even close. I'm not even sure what they were trying to do. Kind of an up pattern they were trying to throw, run straight upfield and try to beat your man one-on-one, but he heaved that one before he even got more than about 7 or 8 yards off the line of scrimmage. So it's going to be 4th down inside of the 1-yard line, so Martinsburg obviously could have an opportunity to get great field position. The last punt was pretty ugly. Let's see what this happens on this one.
It was a low-line drive that he got a nice bounce out of, and he's got his heels right on that back line as Bernard Newman awaits the snap. It is back, and he'll just punch it away, and it bounces at about the 22, takes a roll out beyond the 30, and will get touched, and it'll be dead at the 34-yard line. So once again, a punt that covers about 33 yards with no return, and with 7:47 to play here in quarter number 1. Martinsburg will get their second possession. And Vic, a great punt by Trey Sine on that first possession when Martinsburg, somewhat surprisingly you might say, went 3 and out, has now given him a very short field.
Yes, he has, and this is something that, you really don't want to do against Martinsburg, give him a short field in any possible way. 7:47 to go, first quarter, still no score. But it's going to be interesting just to see here. I look for Martinsburg to run the football a little bit here, try to see what they're going to do up front.
Naeem Kearney to the left of Elijah Banks. There is the snap and the handoff. Kearney letting his blocking set up, slips through a tackle at the 30, gets inside the 25 and taken down at about the 24-yard line. That gain should be good for 10 and a Martinsburg first down. Naeem Kearney, leading rusher for the Bulldogs, 61 carries, 512 yards, and 7 touchdowns coming in. He's got 2 carries for 8 yards in the early going of this one. From the 23-yard line, really that's a gain of 11 on first down and 10. Give again is to Naeem Kearney and no place to go. He got hit and brought down in the backfield, and coming on the blitz that time was Chase Henson, starting quarterback, also a linebacker, and he'll make the stop for minus about 1.5 yards.
Well, it looks like it's terrible blocking up there, but it's just a good call, a good guess. And sometimes you guess right, sometimes you guess wrong on the blitz that time, and they were able to get, Henson was able to get up into the gap and make the play.
On 2nd and 11, Banks throwing the screen, caught on the near side by Anthony Smith. The wideout had come towards the middle of the field, made that catch, turned upfield, and goes inside the 15 down to the 11-yard line. He'll pick up 14 yards, and he's got a Bulldog first down.
Well, that's what makes Martinsburg so successful is the fact that the last play, the defense looked like $1 million, and they come right back and throw a little quick slant there, and you got 14 yards for a first down.
Anthony Smith as a receiver, 8 catches, 178 yards, and a couple of scores. 2 receivers each way for Elijah Banks. He will fake that give and then throw on the quick slant, and Gerard Bowie makes the catch between 2 defenders in the end zone for the Bulldog touchdown.
Well, give the credit to Banks on that one. That was a bullet. That ball was between 2 guys. I wasn't sure. When I saw the ball being released, I thought it was going to be intercepted, but well, he's got a strong arm, and when he throws it on the line, he puts it on the line. Great throw.
21st touchdown pass on the season for Banks and for Gerard Bowie. Touchdown catch number 9. Bowie, the Bulldog leading receiver, 22 catches, 507 yards coming in. His second catch of the night, an 11-yard touchdown. And with Chris Catlett on for the PAT, he'll put it up and through. And now for Catlett, 35 of 37 in PATs this season. 6:22 to play in quarter number 1. We take a break with Martinsburg leading 7-0.
Hello, I'm Michael Falk, a lifelong resident of West Virginia, husband and father. I worked my way through school and life with honesty, hard work, and determination. These principles have served me well in athletics, education, farming, and aviation, and have carried me through years of fighting for a more accountable government at the local and state level. These same core principles will allow me to serve you well in Charleston. I believe true leadership is sticking your neck out for right, even when it goes against the establishment. You can help me put principle over politics and beat the odds one more time.
My name is Monica. I'm an elementary school teacher.
My name is Mitch. I'm a graphic design specialist.
We have 4 children. Currently we have life and auto insurance with Erie. Our agent is helping us to move our homeowners insurance to Erie as well.
They've always been a good company and good customer service. If anything ever happens to me, my family will be protected.
Your local Erie agent in Martinsburg is Smallwood & Small Insurance. Get a quote at smallwoodandsmall.com.
The ensuing kickoff is an onside kick, bounced towards the far sideline. A diving attempt along that sideline by Kai Walker, a sophomore wideout and defensive back, but he could not keep it in bounds. It goes out of bounds and will belong to Spring Mills. Scoring drive summary, a service of Smallwood Small Insurance, your total insurance solution at 121 Administrative Drive in Martinsburg. Phone 304-263-3361 for all of your insurance needs. Martinsburg scored on a 34-yard drive in 5 plays, took 1 minute and 25 seconds, an 11-yard touchdown pass going from Banks to Bowie, and Martinsburg leads 7-0, and the football will get marked at the 46-yard line in Spring Mills territory, their best position to start a drive.
Well, there's another opportunity there where Martinsburg using, people call onside kicks and things like that trick plays. They're not trick plays. They're just different plays. You work on those sometimes more than you do your regular plays because it takes so much to execute those and you don't use them very often.
On first down and 10, snap is back. Henson hands it off, and ouch, the running back hit in the hole. That may be our first candidate for the Cody's Body Shop collision of the game. I want to make sure that is a 5'9", and it is, and that was Ty Lucas with the big hit on the running back.
I don't know about you, Matt, but I think I heard a little leather cracking way up here on that one.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Jason, what did it sound like from the sideline?
Sound like Vic just showed his age talking about leather cracking. Yeah. They stopped using leather a long time ago, Vic, but yeah, that was one mean hit right there to plug that up.
That was a loss of a yard back to the 45. Henson taking that snap, going to keep it. Caught in the backfield by Terrell Good and gets taken down very quickly on the play as Terrell Good getting some help there from Ty Lucas, and they'll make that stop for a loss of another yard.
Nice job there, but getting good penetration. Martinsburg getting penetration now, and again, once they get penetration, their linemen run very well.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're going to outrun them too much. Big third down coming up here. 3rd down and 12. 5 minutes, 10 seconds go. Quarter number 1, 7-0. Martinsburg leads it.
Well, and Vic, you mentioned in the pregame one of the keys, got to stay out of 3rd and longs, and all of their 3rd downs have been long so far. Pass along the far side, caught on that sideline, but I believe he was out of bounds. Yes, he was. Jalen Burton ran underneath of it, but it is incomplete as he was out of bounds. And I think we're going to get Trey Sign for a late hit on the quarterback, or no, it's a chop block on Spring Mills. I was going to say, I know he got there just as that ball was being released and put a nice hit on quarterback Chase Henson, but it's the chop block that they call the penalty on. Martinsburg will take the penalty as opposed to the result of the play, as it's going to put the football all the way back at the 28-yard line.
I really think the Rules Committee in high school football need to take a look at some rules. I mean, that's a big penalty right there. No penalty should not be any further than starting from the line of scrimmage back.
Third down and about 30 now from their own 28-yard line for Spring Mills. Henson running with the football, grabbed by Ty Lucas and very quickly taken down. He got back to the line of scrimmage. If that, no, they'll mark it at the 27 for a loss of a yard. Terrell Good in there to help on that play as well.
Well, I was kind of expecting a screen pass or flare or something like that, or a curl, something real quick, because you're not going to have that kind of time to go deep against Martinsburg to pick up 20, 25 yards for a first down.
So the snap is back, and a whistle blows stopping the play just as Bernard Newman got his foot into this punt. And let's see what we've got. Offside, Martinsburg.
Well, somebody lined up in the neutral zone.
2 penalties now, 5 yards whistled against Martinsburg, as they also had a penalty for a kick that went out of bounds. So they'll move that football forward. It'll go to about the 20, looks like, now they're going to, move it from the 27. 5 yards out, going to put it at about the 32, almost the 33-yard line. And the punt will come from there as Newman awaits the snap at his own 20. Gerard Bowie back to return the punt. He does have a 99-yard punt return touchdown on the season. Punt high end over end, going to bounce. Gerard Bowie getting over near it, but it will be touched dead at the Bulldog 42-yard line. Jumping on that one is Nick Harbaugh, a junior wide receiver. So Martinsburg will have it after the 25-yard punt with no return, and the Bulldogs with a 7-0 lead, 4:09 to play in quarter number 1, and for Martinsburg it'll be their third offensive possession.
Well, one of the things is the fact that this is only third possession for Martinsburg. 4 minutes and 9 seconds ago in the first quarter. It's only a 7-0 football game.
Yeah, they haven't been able to break that really big play yet. Banks rolling far side after taking that snap, looking downfield, has some time, gives up some ground, reverse pivot, and eventually falls. We got a penalty marker down on the play as well, where it looks like there may be a hold. I'm sure that penalty will be declined as Banks goes down all the way back at his own 29-yard line for a loss of 13 yards. Illegal block, it looks like, on Martinsburg. But again, that penalty will be declined, and it will be the loss of 13 yards and technically a sack for Spring Mills.
Well, he's got to get rid of the football. He's got to throw that one down the sideline, out of bounds. He's out of the pocket area. He's got a receiver over on the sideline. But the receiver did not break his pattern. He kept going to the sideline. If he just turns upfield, he can heave it out there. As a matter of fact, he's probably going to get wide open.
Just the third time Banks has been sacked this season, and now the snap back. He wasn't ready for it. Banks, though, able to pick it up, looks downfield, fires over the middle. A diving attempt by Gerard Bowie as that one was down near his feet. It's incomplete. Bowie is frustrated. If that ball's up just a little bit and he makes the catch on the run, he's got a chance to turn that one upfield.
Yeah, he has a chance to run a long ways on that one.
Nonetheless, just to get out of there without losing any more yardage, not bad. 3rd and 23 for the Bulldogs, who are 0 for 1 on third down conversion attempts, and Gerard Bowie is being sent to the sideline. So not sure what occurred on that last play, but Bowie being sent to the sideline. Martinsburg's got to get a wide receiver out there on the field, and it looks like Trenton Sherman, who is going to race down the sideline and make his way out there. Remember, the Dogs playing without Teddy Marshall, who sprained his ankle in practice this week. They got to get a first down at the 48-yard line in Spring Mills territory, and the Dogs snap it from about their own 29. Snap is back, and Banks looking far side. Lofts it deep, and the pass will be intercepted at the 25-yard line. Well played out there by Zylan Williams as he stayed right on the intended target, Anthony Smith, and was able to pick it off at the 25.
That's a good job defensively. He did a fine job there staying with him. Kelsey gave him plenty of room there, knew he was going to run the deep pattern, ran with him step for step.
As good as a punt, you might say, with the yardage there. 3:29 remaining here in quarter number 1. 7-0 Martinsburg. That is just the 4th pick that has been thrown this season by Banks, and for the Bulldogs, just their 6th turnover this season. From their own 26 as they set it down, 1st and 10 for Spring Mills. Snap is back. It was a little low. Henson's got it, and again overthrows everyone as he throws it deep down the middle. Jalen Burton along the far side. Hash mark with Zylan Williams running down the middle of the field. Second time we've seen him run 2 guys deep, but so close to one another.
Exactly, and it looks like he's not necessarily throwing the pass to someone. He's heaving it down there like he's hoping somebody will run under it. And he has not been close here. He's got to just simply got to throw a couple underneath. Hopefully that he can get a couple of receptions there and maybe get some confidence in the quarterback in his throws.
Looks like Buskey back out there as the back to the left of the quarterback, and there is a flag blowing the play dead on the snap of the football. Offside Martinsburg, and that is now the 2nd offside penalty against this Bulldog defense tonight. He's going to move the football out to the 31, and we'll make it a 2nd down and 5. 3:24 to play, quarter number 1. 7-0 Martinsburg as the Bulldogs scored on a 5-play, 34-yard drive, an 11-yard touchdown pass from Banks to Bowie. Snap is back. Handoff. Buskey met as he took that handoff, and down he goes for the loss on the play. Boy, that is Lucas again.
Yeah, Lucas again, and they're going to lose that 5 yards that just picked up on that penalty. 3 minutes, 7 seconds ago, quarter number 1. It's 7-0 score. Probably surprising to a lot of people. Martinsburg not looking as sharp as they normally do, and Spring Mills doing a good job of, again, trying to hold on to that football and trying to make some things happen. Haven't done a whole lot offensively, but they've had the football.
As a result, Vic, they faced a 3rd and 9, a 3rd and 14, a 3rd and 12, and this another 3rd and 9. They have yet to convert. Henson to throw. There is a receiver screen to the far side. Grab is made by Bernard Newman. Very quickly hit by the outside linebacker, and making that tackle, Malachi Brown, and it's a loss back inside the 20 to the 19.
And, you know, if you take a look at it, that's not a bad call. I mean, probably some of the Spring Mills people are probably upset saying, well, what kind of call was that? It's a good call. It's just simply well played by Martinsburg. That's a good defensive play. You're not going to pick up big first downs like that against Martinsburg, so you may as well try to do something relatively closer to the cuff, like a screen pass or something quick.
Newman to get the punt out of there on a 4th and very long, and it angles out of bounds on that far side, and now we got to wait and see where they're going to mark it, and it will be at the Spring Mills 37-yard line. The punt covers just 18 yards, no return, and with 2:02 to play in our opening quarter, Martinsburg again with outstanding field position. From the 37 of Spring Mills on 1st down and 10, leading 7-0. Elijah Banks will line up in the gun with Naeem Kearney to his right side. 2 receivers to each side of the formation. Ball's on that far side hash mark. Handoff to Kearney coming here to the wide side left. Good blocking by the wideouts. Just springs him to the 20. Late penalty marker comes down as Kearney breaks tackles at the 10 and the 5 and goes in for the touchdown. But it's coming back as we get what looks like it'll be a hold at the 30-yard line.
I don't make too many comments about officiating. That was not good. That was an excellent block. I think he saw the aftermath of it and thought it was a holding. That was a good block. The defender turned around. No.
We have a pair of illegal blocks in the back on Martinsburg, it looks like. One at the 30, and there was another flag that went down at the 4-yard line. It looks like it'll still be a gain of 7 as they'll mark that illegal block at the 30-yard line. So -10 for the illegal block, but it comes 7 yards into that run. And for Martinsburg, I've got them now at 4 penalties for roughly 20 yards in this first half. So the football will go to the 40-yard line where it will be 1st down and 13 for Martinsburg. Naeem Kearney 4 carries and just 14 yards so far. Touchdown taken off the board for him. He'll line up to the left of the quarterback, and there's the deep slant and almost intercepted. That pass play read by the linebacker Chase Henson, and the junior stepped in front of it but could not bring it in.
Good defensive play. Yeah, happened to be in the right place at the right time and got that hand up on it.
Banks has now missed on his last 3 pass attempts, 2 incompletions, and the interception on the long pass on the last drive. 2nd down and 13 from the 40 of Spring Mills. Banks has it, hands it off to Naeem Kearney. Met in the hole, runs through a tackle to the 34-yard line. Helping to make that stop is Cozy Jackson. That's K-O-Z-I, the sophomore with the stop. And from the 34, that will be a gain of 6, is setting up what we'll call 3rd and 7.
Clock running, minute 20 to go here in the first quarter. 7-0. Martinsburg leads it. It's going to be a 3rd and 4th down situation, I think, for Martinsburg.
Now Banks to throw, receiver screen near side, caught by Malachi Brown, fake to the right, comes back to the left, a little high step at the 20, goes to his right at the 15, avoids tacklers down the near side, numbers into the end zone for the Martinsburg Bulldog touchdown. Oh, what a run after the catch for Malachi Brown.
That's not much you can do about that. That was just a great run that time. That was a great run. Malachi Brown just showed his athletic ability on that play. Good job of blocking again, the open field, downfield blocking that they've been called holding on twice already this ball game. But nice job by Malachi Brown.
Brown, 11 catches, 126 yards coming in. He now has 5 touchdown receptions on the year. Catlett for the PAT. No, they'll run a fake and get the 2-point conversion as the pass will go from Braxton Todd to the Bulldog linebacker Bryce Morris. The 2-point conversion good. 1:05 left in the opening quarter. We'll take a break with Martinsburg in front 15-0.
My family, we're always on the move. Little brother is living it up.
What's up, sis?
See Mom made dinner?
I will see you there.
And my big brother, he's got his hands full. But when Mom says come home for dinner, what could possibly stand in our way? Nothing. When you're a part of a family like this, you always show up. The Honda family of SUVs, awarded Best SUV Brand for 2019.
Miller Honda, south of Winchester, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. www.mymillerhonda.com. Let's talk trash, because when it comes to trash, you have options. Panhandle Dumpsters is a local family-owned garbage hauling company serving both residential and commercial customers with weekly trash pickup, dumpster service, yard waste pickup, and bulk pickups too. Panhandle Dumpsters will give you a free trash can and provide curbside service for just $23 a month. Panhandle Dumpsters features a fleet of quieter, eco-friendly garbage trucks, thereby reducing the noise usually associated with pickup. Switch now and save up to 30%. Call 833-DUMP-STR, panhandledumpsters.com.
Chris Catlett approaching, getting away the deep kick along the far side, taken at the 8-yard line, working to the middle of the field, up across the 20, and then stumbling forward out beyond the 25-yard line is Zylan Williams, the sophomore wideout and defensive back. Drive summary for the Bulldogs. 4 plays, 37 yards, took 57 seconds, 34 yards on the touchdown pass from Banks to Brown. Elijah Banks now 22 touchdown passes on the season with 4 picks. He's thrown 2 touchdowns and 1 interception so far tonight, and the Dogs finally convert on a 3rd down. Now 1 of 3 on 3rd down conversions. 58 seconds left here, quarter number 1 from their own 26 on 1st down. Henson taking the shotgun snap, letting that pass go deep along the far side and incomplete. Looking to get that one to Williams down the far side, just inside the numbers. Good defense as Anthony Smith, the free safety, moving over into that area. They made contact, but the pass overthrown.
Not much accuracy right now. It's kind of like heave it up there and try to get him to run under it or whatever, or try to get rid of it before the pressure comes. 52.9 seconds go, quarter number 1. 15-0, Martinsburg leads it, and hasn't been the prettiest game thus far.
But it's been effective enough for Martinsburg to have the 2-touchdown lead. Handoff to the tailback, no place to go. Buskey bottled up right at the 25-yard line. Gets taken down for a loss of 1 on the play. A 3rd down and 11 coming, and another 3rd and long situation. I've got 4 carries, minus 7 yards for Buskey, and 2 of 6 passing for minus 11 yards so far for Chase Henson. Add in Henson with minus 2 yards on a couple of carries, and it's been negative yardage so far for Spring Mills. Looks like they'll let the final seconds tick off of this first quarter clock before facing the 3rd down and 11. We're down to 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll check in with Jason on the sideline when we come back for quarter number 2 after 1 here at Coburn Field. Martinsburg leads Spring Mills 15-0.
Experience all that the West Virginia Breeders' Classics has to offer. The golf tournament, the gala, the races, experience the classics, the West Virginia Breeders' Classics.
Today we're going to show you how easy it is to make restaurant quality soup in your own home. Step 1, grab a bag of any of the delicious flavors of soups at Johnny's. Step 2, put the soup in the pot and add water. Step 3, walk away. In about 45 minutes, restaurant quality soup for the entire family.
As we welcome you back into Coburn Field, tallying up some numbers. Martinsburg 72 yards in quarter number 1 for Spring Mills, minus 19 yards in that opening quarter. They face a 3rd and 11 from their own 25. Snap is back. Henson hit as he lets it go deep along the far side, and again overthrows his intended target, trying to get it to J.B. Barick with the incompletion. The punting unit will come on. Sideline reports brought to you by Mike Folk for Governor Accountable, Ethical, Responsible. Learn more online at folk4wv.com. We send it down to Jason.
Matt, before the game, I think if you'd ask Spring Mills if you'd be down 15-0 after the first quarter, would you take it? And I think they'd say yes. Some of these shots that they're taking downfield, it seems like they see something, they just can't seem to connect on them.
Not connecting at all, as we now have Henson 2 of 7 passing for the negative 11 yards. Newman to punt it out of there. Low line drive, spiraling kick, going to bounce. Taken at the 48-yard line in Spring Mills territory by Gerard Bowie. Gets by the first man, tries to let the blocking set up, does get to the near sideline. He's to the 30, down the 20, to the 10, cuts back to his left and into the end zone for the Martinsburg Bulldog touchdown. That'll be 52 yards on the punt return, although hold on, a flag down at the 14-yard line. Well, along with Vic Holmes, I'm Matt Miller. We heard from Jason on the sideline, Matt Crawford at the studio, Zach Van Meter and Eric Sterick running cameras, Ash Gurry, our on-site producer. And we will have what appears to be, when I see the referee put the 2 fists together, illegal blindside block is what the call will be from the 14-yard line, and it will nullify the 52-yard punt return touchdown. Well, a couple of officials getting together for more conversation.
You know, this is really a tough call. I think it may have gone the other way. I think they may have missed it. Let's see what happens here. They're still having a discussion.
So it will go on Spring Mills.
Yes, I thought they had missed that one.
For that blindside contact, and so the touchdown will stand. So it is a 52-yard punt return touchdown.
I thought they missed that one because I saw a player, we would normally call that a cheap shot. You're on defense, you're out there to tackle, and you're out there taking a blind shot at a guy who just reverse field. You just can't do that, offensively or defensively.
So the extra point coming for Chris Catlett. He puts it up and puts it through. 11:37 remaining here in our first half, 22-0. Now the Martinsburg lead, and we will go ahead and keep it right here. Martinsburg, with 15 more points, has now outscored opponents 138-0 in the first quarter this season, and have outscored opponents with the punt return to open this second quarter, now 109-20 in the second quarter. That means the Bulldogs coming in were at 225 first half points, now up to 247-20, outscoring opponents in the first two quarters.
And again, that's what makes it so difficult to be able to actually stay in ball games. You get behind early in ball games like that, and quite often there goes all of a sudden your game plan, what you wanted to do. And most of the teams want to try to run the ball against Martinsburg so they can control the game to a certain degree, and they aren't able to do it because they get behind, so they've got to try to put some points on the board very quickly. 15-yard penalty will be assessed here on the kickoff, so they'll kick it off from the 45-yard line. And again, that's the 45-yard line of Spring Mills, that is.
Two penalties, 33 yards, as Spring Mills has been called with two long penalties. One, a chop block in the backfield that cost 18 yards, and now this one that cost them 15 yards. Let's see if Catlett tries some sort of a pooch or a squib or an onside kick, or if he goes ahead and kicks it out of the end zone. He'll approach, and it is a bouncy kick along the near side, and it is Kai Walker who dives to get that football at the 32-yard line of Spring Mills, and Martinsburg's offense will have it.
Nice job that time, and one of the good things about football is the fact that that ball bounced off the ground. Anytime you got a ball that's got points on it, it can bounce anywhere, but he got a nice bounce off the ground in the air, and he did the smart thing. It's just cover it up, go to the ground, because you can't advance it.
It's the 33 of Spring Mills that Martinsburg will take over, in front 22-0. They have seen something in the way Spring Mills lines up for those kickoffs, as they tried that earlier. On the play action pass, Banks throwing deep along the near side. Nice adjustment to the football for Malachi Brown. Colliding with him just as the ball was getting there is Jalen Burton. No flag down. They call it incomplete.
Well, they can call it incomplete, but that was pass interference, so I'm sorry.
It was a nice adjustment by Malachi Brown. That ball had a little wobble as it came out of the hand of Elijah Banks, and that caused the underthrow. But Brown adjusted and was ready to make the catch when contact was made. 2nd down and 10. Handoff going to Naeem Kearney. Bounces to his left, continues to bounce. Able to slip through a couple of tackles, still weaving, dodging, still on his feet, and eventually taken down at the 30-yard line. I think about 7 different Cardinals had a chance to make the stop. All of that, and Vicky gains 3 yards.
He ran about 25 and gained 3 yards. That's a tough 3 yards. It's going to bring up 3rd down now. 3rd down and 6 from the 33-yard line. 11 minutes to go the first half. 22-0. Martinsburg leads it. But obviously we can look at this and say this is 4-down territory for Martinsburg.
The team looks to the near sideline. Coach Lynch, Coach Walker going through some signs, giving the information. Everyone looks at the wristband. They've got the play call, and Banks awaits the shotgun snap. Screen in the flat on this right side, a little high and hard and off the hand of Naeem Kearney. It is incomplete.
You got to be prepared for that one. I don't know if it was thrown a little too hard or a little too far in front of him. Thought it was a pretty good pass, and obviously a very catchable ball, but right off his hands. Put it in the right spot, maybe a little bit too hard.
Just 4 of 9 passing for 65 yards, a couple of touchdowns, 1 pick for Elijah Banks. 4th and 7 for Martinsburg from the Spring Mills 30-yard line. Leading 22-0, 10:36 to play in the half. 3 receivers here to the wide side right, and a penalty marker now down. And I believe the center may have moved the football a little bit, or something happened along that offensive front line as the procedure penalty is called, and we'll move it back to the 35. And it becomes a 4th down now and 12. And for Martinsburg, penalized unofficially 5 times for 25 yards in this first half. Dogs will still go for it on this 4th down. Banks controlled roll here to the near side. Throws that pass. Has an open receiver at the 20-yard line, but a little high and wide. Anthony Smith leaping into the air. Had to go through his hands as he was trying to pull it in, but still keep a foot in bounds.
Well, 10 minutes and 31 seconds to go here in the first half. This is one of these ball games that a lot of people who are, I don't know if they're cynics or second guessers or whatever you want to call it, will look at this and say, this team's looking forward to looking into next week's game. You know, there's not a player out there is looking at next week's game. I don't know why people say they overlook this team, they overlook that team. Now, if you've never played before, you're not out there thinking about next week's game.
Henson out of the gun with a back to his right side. That back will be a lead blocker as Henson tries to run, but no place to go. A pair of linebackers as Sign and Morris meet right at that number 7 and bring down a Chase Henson for a loss on the play.
You know, sometimes you'll get teams like this team makes it difficult for you to execute sometimes. In other words, they don't necessarily stop you, but they do some things well. Are they in the right place at the right time? And we've seen that defensively so far for Spring Mills. I think they've done some good things out there. Still got a long way to go in this football game. 9 minutes, 55 seconds to go in the first half. A 22-0 football game.
Back again to the right side of the quarterback as Henson awaits that shotgun snap. Looking for some running room to his right, and again, there is just no place to go. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, which was the 34, and it will bring up 3rd down and 11 for Spring Mills. They have now faced a 3rd and 9, 3rd and 14, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 11, and they are 0 of 5. Their 6th attempt will again be a 3rd and 11. And Vic, you said got to get yards on 1st and 2nd.
You got to get yards on 1st and 2nd. You're not going to make the big play against Martinsburg on 3rd and longs.
As Henson lines up.
Obviously, you can probably pretty much count on this one being a passing situation.
He'll have a back to his left side. Serving as a blocker as Henson throws over the middle and incomplete. A pair of Bulldogs were right there. It was the linebacker Braxton Todd who was down low, and it was Anthony Smith, the free safety, going up high and got his fingertips on the pass that was intended for Zylan Williams, the sophomore wideout, with the incompletion punting unit on. 2 of 8 passing, minus 11 yards in this first half for Henson.
8:55 to go in the half, 22-0. Martinsburg on top, ready to receive this punt. Let's see what happens. The punting has not been good.
Snap is back, and Newman gets it away, and Gerard Bowie's got it at the 41-yard line, coming here to the near side, able to make a man miss, looking to get to the sideline. He's to the 40 and the 35, moves outside to the 30, stays in bounds, and there he goes into the end zone. Gerard Bowie with another punt return touchdown. This one is going to cover 59 yards.
And no flags.
He went 52 yards on his last punt return. He goes 59 yards on this punt return. Wow.
Just a nice job of running and good job of blocking, and also a good job of not blocking, because there are a couple opportunities where you see guys getting clips from hitting guys in the back, and it didn't happen. So nice job. That's a good job of coaching there.
Very good execution on special teams for Martinsburg tonight. Chris Catlett out of the hold of Trenton Sherman. Snap is back. A kick is up and good. 8:36 to play in the first half. We'll be back in a moment. Martinsburg now out in front, 29-0.
The level of care that I got at WVU Medicine was top-notch.
If you're not progressing in healthcare, you're falling behind.
Is really an integration, looking at a clinical care network, looking at the good people who can help push the envelope and raise the bar for delivering quality healthcare product.
To have my life back is absolutely a blessing. I am beyond thankful for WVU Medicine. I absolutely 100% have my life back.
He is the most interesting jeweler in the world. Celebrities ask for his autograph. When buying diamonds, experts ask him what they're worth. He once counted to infinity twice. he has his own astrological sign.
I may not sell every customer that comes into Bechtel Jewelers, but on the rare occasions when I don't, they often wish I had. Stay brilliant, my friends.
The ensuing kickoff coming down to Williams at the near side 13-yard line, trying to work across the field, gets to the 15, splits through two special teamers and dives forward out to that 20-yard line. Nice return for Zylan Williams. Spring Mills will have it for their 7th possession of the first half. The scoring summary brought to you by Smallwood Small Insurance, your total insurance solution at 121 Administrative Drive in Martinsburg. A 59-yard punt return touchdown for Gerard Bowie. He's had a pair of candidates for our Orsini's Appliance electrifying play of the game.
Yes, he has. He's been electrifying. We still have 8 minutes and 30 seconds to go here in the second quarter.
From their own 20-yard line on a first down and 10. I believe it's Buskey who is back out there in the backfield as the back to the left of the quarterback. Henson awaiting that shotgun snap. He's got it. Looks to the far side. Now steps up. Eludes a couple of tacklers. Hit and slips another tackle. Loses the football as he was going down, and it is still loose. And eventually it is Jalen Burton who comes up with that loose ball out at the 27-yard line. It ends up being a pickup of 7 yards.
Well, lesson learned there for Thurston. He had an opportunity. He was trying to pick that ball up and run it in for a score. Fall on it. If he falls on it right there, it's a Martinsburg touchdown, Martinsburg football. But instead, he tried to pick it up and just bobbled it back himself.
Vic, their best offensive play so far, and they picked up probably 3 yards after the football got knocked free on the fumble. Henson awaiting, has that snap. Looks to that far side, wide receiver screen, catch is made. That pass down low and going down to get it right off the top of the turf was Bernard Newman. Newman going to be marked down at the 31-yard line. So that gain is good for 4 yards and a first down. The first down for Spring Mills tonight.
A long time coming here. 7 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the first half, getting your first down. But you've got to start somewhere.
On 1st and 10, Henson out of the shotgun with the snap. There's the slant, and the pass is incomplete. Trying to work that one along the near side to Jalen Burton. Good coverage out here by Jarvis Thurston, who's getting the start at corner with the injury to Teddy Marshall. Sprained his ankle during the week.
A lot of pressure that time up inside. Linebackers up inside blitzed on that play, so he had to get rid of it quickly.
He got it out there, but the ball not caught by Burton. With the incompletion, brings up 2nd down and 10, 7:14 on a stopped second quarter clock, 29-0 Martinsburg. Snap is back. Henson throwing far side, too high for his intended target. Trey Sign was closing in as Zylan Williams ended up falling down as he leaped, landed, and then fell to the ground trying to get that pass that was too high. With the incompletion, brings up 3rd and 10.
Probably good he did miss it. Had he made that catch there, he probably lost about 5 or 6 yards. 7 minutes, 10 seconds on the stop clock. 29-0. Martinsburg leads it, and shooting for their second first down is Spring Mills.
They have yet to score a point in the first half against Martinsburg. They've met 6 times since Spring Mills opened. This is game number 7, and still looking for that first half point. Pass to the far side and a little high and wide of Bernard Newman, who has it go off his fingertips as he made a dive for it along that far sideline. Even if he catches it, he's only going to gain a couple of yards. Would not have been enough for the first.
Yeah, he's going to be about 7 yards short of the first down if he even makes the catch there. Kind of makes you wonder a little bit. A little bit different if you're going across the middle or something, but you're running an out pattern to the sideline. You catch it, one step and you're out of bounds. So no way you're going to get a first down there.
Newman on to punt, gets it out of there. Floating kick angling far side, hits right on the sideline and then goes out of bounds. It looks like it should be spotted right about, we'll call it the 45.
We got a flag down on the far side over there. I'm not sure if somebody was offside or what.
That punt covers 24 yards with no return, and we await the penalty. Illegal procedure against Spring Mills. If you're Martinsburg, do you take the football or make them punt it again?
I'd make them punt it again, as bad as they've been punting the football.
And the returns that Martinsburg has been getting.
Yeah.
I've got 3 penalties now for 38 yards on Spring Mills, as it's -5 on the procedure. It'll set that football back to the 26-yard line and will force Newman to try to get the punt out of there from inside his own 15. That means Gerard Bowie will be right near that midfield stripe. He has returned the last 2 punts for touchdowns. Could he do it again? There is the snapback. It's a little high. Newman has to dodge a couple of tacklers and eventually will bull his way forward. Nice effort out beyond the 25 as he gets to about the 27-yard line and ends up gaining a yard on the play, but Martinsburg will have it with great field position.
I couldn't get the number of the, there were 2 guys in there that was ready to block that one. He did the smart thing by pulling it down. He had no choice, because if he kicks that one, it's going to get blocked.
So Martinsburg with another short field, taking over with 6:51 to play in our first half. First and 10 from the 28, it looks like they'll mark it in Spring Mills territory. Banks brings a man in motion, hands the football off a jet sweep for Trey Sign. Sign gets spun around, cuts back to his left, avoids the tackler, and then gets taken down at the 23-yard line. Looked like he was going down for a loss on the play, but still able to pick up 5 yards.
Yeah, if you're Spring Mills, you got to make those tackles. I mean, you had an opportunity there for lost yardage on that play. You had about 3 blown tackles, or 3 opportunities and 2 blown tackles.
6:22 on a running second quarter clock, 29-0. Martinsburg in front, their 6th possession of this first half. 5 receivers headed out into patterns, and they again give that jet sweep to Sign, turning the corner on this right side, gets grabbed at the 15 and eventually forced out of bounds along the near sideline, taken down at the 11, and that gain is good for 12 and another Bulldog first down.
Well, they're saying to Spring Mills, Coach Walker saying to Spring Mills, stop my run game. And I think this is just a concerted effort to get the run game started and get it into, I think, a little bit crisper than what it has been thus far in this game.
On a unique way to get that running game started, right? An empty backfield, 5 receivers, but you keep bringing a slot man in motion and giving him the football. Line up in that same formation again. Banks taking the snap. Looks to the far side. Looks to the near side. Motions for a man to go downfield. Throws towards the end zone. Tipped, and eventually falls incomplete. That was a dangerous throw that very easily could have been intercepted at the goal line. I believe that's number 11. That would be Cozy Jackson who had his hands on it.
Well, that was one time where I see Coach Walker giving some instructions there to Banks. You just go ahead and you throw that high and deep into the corner of the end zone. Either your man's going to get it, it's going to go out of bounds. I think he tried to just kind of hit the pinhole that one right in there. It just wasn't there.
Banks taking that shotgun snap. He's going to keep it coming here to the right, inside the 5 and into the end zone for the Martinsburg Bulldog. Touchdown. Wasn't touched until he got practically to the goal line.
And I'm not even sure if that was the play designed. I think there was probably a mix-up in the backfield on that one. He ended up keeping it.
Yeah, he did hold the ball out there as if he wanted to hand it to someone, and no one was there. But a great job by the big fellas up front, creating that huge lane and running to the right side. Banks able to go in from 11 yards, and Elijah Banks has his 5th rushing touchdown on the season. PAT for Chris Catlett. Snap is back, kick is up, and it is good. 5:27 to play in the first half. We take a break with Martinsburg leading Spring Mills 36-0.
Hi, this is Eric from Hagerstown Ford. I keep telling you that Hagerstown Ford has completely changed the car buying experience forever. And with a return policy easier than Walmart, Hagerstown Ford has a goal to deliver 350 cars and trucks per month. And when I say deliver, I mean deliver to you, where you are, just like Amazon does. And if you don't want it, return it. No questions asked. The only way Hagerstown Ford can accomplish this extremely aggressive goal is to make the car buying process fast and easy. We simply refuse to play the dumb back and forth games that most dealerships want to play. There's absolutely no reason for you to waste your precious time at a car dealership. I assure you, there is no dealership from Winchester, Virginia to Washington, D.C. that can beat our price. There's no dealership that will allow you to return your new car if you don't want it. Hagerstown Ford absolutely has the best price, and we'll bring the car to you. And if you don't want it, return it, period. No questions asked. There's no reason to buy anywhere else. Visit HagerstownFord.com to schedule your VIP experience and get your new ride delivered to you.
Contact dealer for details.
Now the ensuing kickoff as Catlett approaches. This one a squibber as he laid the ball on its side. Bounces it down the near side hash mark. Williams picks it up. Heading to the far side. Gets outside the numbers across the 30 and the 35. Sprints out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Zylan Williams, the sophomore, showing some good speed to be able to get out there to that wide side of the field. Spring Mills will have it at their own 41. Drive summary brought to you by Smallwood Small Insurance in Martinsburg. Auto, home, life, business, disability, retirement. They're your total insurance solution. Call Smallwood Small 304-263-3361. For Martinsburg, a 4-play 28-yard drive took a minute and 24 seconds. An 11-yard touchdown run for Elijah Banks, and the Bulldogs have a 36-0 lead. 5:20 to play first half. 1st and 10 from their own 41. Spring Mills now with their 8th offensive possession of the half. Snap is back. Henson throws. Near side, Jarvis Thurston. Good job of being able to get in front of the intended target, Jalen Burton, on that slant pattern.
That's good defensive play that time.
Incomplete pass, unofficially 3 of 13 for -7 passing yards in this first half for Chase Henson. It's been tough going for this offense for Spring Mills. Just have not been able to get anything going against a very stingy Martinsburg defense. We will check in with Jason on the sideline after this next play. 5:16 on a stopped clock in this second quarter. Henson awaiting that shotgun snap, has it, fakes the give to the tailback and keeps it. Trey Sign, the linebacker, wraps him up and brings him down. Mark it at the 47-yard line. That gain is good for 6. Brings up a very manageable 3rd and 4. Sideline reports brought to you by Mike Folk for Governor Accountable, Ethical, Responsible. Find out more online at folk4wv.com. Jason.
Here in this first half, Martinsburg's offense has struggled at times, but their special teams and their defense have looked outstanding so far.
Yeah, the special teams really getting it done, and the defense not giving up much of anything, just one first down. From their own 47 on a 3rd down and 4, still looking for their first 3rd down conversion. They'll bring a man in motion. Henson fakes the pitch, keeps it, and quickly gets taken down. A whole host of Bulldogs with Tanner Lucas, one of the big guys up front, helping to lead the way. Looks like Quentin Brown, a part of that. Terrell Good as well. He got to the line of scrimmage and not much more.
Big decision here, Matt. What do you do? With 4 minutes, 10 seconds ago in the first half, you're down 36-0, and you're not quite at midfield yet. You're in your own territory. Do you punt it away, or do you go for it? Looks like Spring Mills is going to go for it.
I was going to say, they are lining up as if they'll go for it on a 4th down and 4. Henson will have a back to his left side. 2 receivers out to that far side, a single receiver here to the near side. Henson awaiting that snap back, and we have a delay of game.
Yes, that's another 5 yards. So now you're really going to have to think about it, because we have a timeout now for Spring Mills. So if they're calling a timeout, apparently they're going to go for it here.
So did they get the timeout before the penalty, or will they mark the football back? It looks like they're going to give them the timeouts as opposed to the penalty, as right now the football is still setting at the 47-yard line. Gives us a chance to say thanks to our sponsors, Hagerstown Ford, the Berkeley County Health Department, Panhandle Dumpsters, Marius Group, and Ameriprise Financial, Miller's Honda, Johnny's, Bechtel Jewelers, Parsons Ford, WVU Medicine University Healthcare, J&P Service and Repair, and Brown Funeral Homes. Thanks to each of our sponsors. Those are main sponsors. Thanks to our many special segment sponsors as part of our coverage of high school football featuring the Martinsburg Bulldogs and the Eastern Panhandle Athletic Conference. Vic Martinsburg trying to make it 49 consecutive wins, still holding on to that number 2 spot in current longest winning streak in the nation. Caledonia, Minnesota up to 60 in a row. Wow. Did you know 3 teams that had 40 or more wins in a row going into this season have had those streaks snapped? We'll tell you more about that as we go. And now it looks like the punting unit is coming on as Newman awaits that snap. He wants to run a fake. Turning the corner on that right side. He gets the first down. Bryce Morris puts a big hit on him, taking him out of bounds in Bulldog territory at about the 48. It will be a first down, but there's another candidate for our Cody's Body Shop collision of the game.
Well, I tell you, if I'm Martinsburg, I know Coach Walker's not happy with that particular play. First of all, you've got a guy back there, and he wasn't in full punt position. He was up a little closer than usual, and you got to be prepared for that. A missed tackle at the line of scrimmage, those you want to make the other team pay.
Their second first down of this first half, and it comes on the fake punt. Clock stops, 3:32 to play in the half. 36-0 Martinsburg from the Bulldog 48-yard line. Handoff going to the tailback, and he is very quickly wrestled down on the play. Helmet comes off on the ball carrier at the end of that play as well. On that carry, Isaiah Sanner, he is a junior running back. 3 Bulldogs right there, helping to make that big hit to stop him for a loss of a yard.
3 minutes, 5 seconds to go and a half. And one thing this is helping Spring Mills, the fact they still have the football.
Yeah, because when we saw Martinsburg put the points on the board with 5:27 left, we thought, wow, a quick 3 and out, and this Bulldog offense could have a chance to score again.
I look for, if they don't get a first down here, I look for Martinsburg maybe to call a timeout.
Second down and 11, deep pass far side, off the fingertips of the intended target as he tried to get it to Zyla.
At Anthony's Pizza Inwood location, nobody does it.
Nice coverage back there by the linebacker. Yeah, that is Braxton Todd, who was with him stride for stride.
They've done a good job of covering Spring Mills. They've run a lot of deep patterns, a lot of what we call fly patterns or go patterns, just straight down the field and try to outrun the defensive player and the quarterback. He's been basically heaving it out there. One good thing that saved Martinsburg here, a timeout, is the fact of the incomplete pass with 2 minutes and 41 seconds to go.
Now third down and 11 from the Bulldog 49, and I believe, what are we going to have?
Timeout from Martinsburg, I believe. Yes.
So the Bulldogs now choose to burn a timeout, so each team has used a timeout here in this first half. With 2:41 to play in the half, let's go ahead, send it to the studio. We'll take a 30-second break and then return to Coburn Field. Martinsburg leading 36-0.
First impressions count, and your sign is your signature. Davis Designs is locally owned and locally operated with a legacy that spans over 30 years. Davis Designs is your one-stop shop for custom handcrafted signs, banners, vehicle lettering, design services, and vehicle wraps. Everything from temporary signs to hand-painted gold leafs. Go see Tom for anything from mild to wild. Call 304-267-7807. Follow them on Facebook at Davis Designs or stop by at 1404 New York Avenue in Martinsburg. Create your design today.
We understand Musselman has the lead on Hedgesville as the two teams meet at Amuma Stadium. And it was Frankfort at home with the lead over Washington. Those games in the second quarter. Matt Crawford will have scores coming up during our halftime scoreboard show. We can also tell you Patrick Henry has a lead on Salem as Martinsburg looks forward to that next opponent, Salem, who was undefeated coming into play tonight. Well, out of the timeout, snap is back. Henson throwing deep far side, and the The catch is made on the sideline. I believe it's Williams who they finally were able to get the football to, and nope, I stand corrected. That is J.B. Barrick, the sophomore, who pulled that one in, going out of bounds at the Bulldog 22.
Good throw, good catch that time, and he held on to that one, took a big hit at the end. 2 minutes, 35 seconds ago, and the clock will start as soon as it is placed down after the first down.
So a pair of first downs in this possession, and they convert on a third down for the first time. This is their best drive, 8th play of the possession. Out of the gun, Chase Henson has that snap. There's that quick pass along the near side, too high and incomplete. Wanted to get that one to Nick Harbaugh, a junior wideout. They've run that kind of slant pattern a lot here in this ball game, and Martinsburg has defended it pretty well.
Well, that's it's just the way the game is played these days. A lot of bubble screens, a lot of slants, a lot of scrape-offs, what we mean like an X pattern. The inside guy goes out and the outside guy goes in, and a lot of those things are going on in football at all levels.
Spring Mills with their 8th offensive possession of the first half, trying to get first half points against Martinsburg for the first time in what is now their 7th ever meeting. Henson throwing deep along that far side into the end zone, diving for that one. Did he come up with the INT? Yes, he did. The diving interception on that far side, and that is Dorn Smith who gets the pick.
Well, it's one of those things where I think if we go back to the throw down in the end zone here by Banks earlier that almost got intercepted, you've got to throw the ball to the deep back corner of the end zone. So either your guy's going to catch it or it's going to go out of bounds. That one fell short. It was inside and, of course, picked off. Dorian Smith, great job. 2 minutes, 23 seconds ago and a half. And Martinsburg, I think, has one timeout remaining.
That's plenty of time for this Bulldog offense. Normally a very explosive offense. They'll have it at their own 20 as that pick came in the end zone. Looking at the stat sheet, 3 picks now for Dorn Smith this season. We'll check with Jason on the sideline after this first play. Handoff Naeem Kearney turning the corner on that left side. Good blocking by the wide receivers. Kearney slips through a tackle at the 32-yard line, out across the 40, and gets tripped up and taken down, falling forward all the way out to the 40. Looks like 7-yard line.
Now, the defense is set up for the run. They're looking for the pass, obviously, so the defense is set up for the run. Feast or famine here.
Back to throw. Banks working very quickly. Gives a pump fake, eludes a would-be sack. Throws near side. Jarvis Thurston cannot handle it as it goes through his hands as he was going out of bounds. Let's check in with Jason on the sideline. The Dogs will face a 2nd and 10 from their own 47 on the next play.
Matt, you wondered with the quarterback for Spring Mills just heaving balls out there many a times, time after time, if Martinsburg was going to be able to time one of those, and it was a great job by their defense to bend a little bit, but not to break.
There you go. Did not end up giving up points, and hold on, we have illegal man downfield. So -5 on the Bulldogs. Will back them up, and they'll get that down all over again. So Martinsburg picking up the penalty. I got 6 penalties, 30 yards now on the Bulldogs. And from right around their own 41-yard line, Banks to throw along the near side, near the midfield stripe. Again, trying to get it to Jarvis Thurston, but cannot connect. Zylan Williams on the coverage. I've got 4 of 12 passing, 65 yards for Banks. Clearly not his normal self here in this one, you would say.
You know, and the bad part about it is that was a good play. That would have got the ball around the 50-yard line, and to make it a very makeable 2nd or 3rd down situation, they would have been just 6 yards, 6.5 yards from another first down. 1:57 to go and a half.
2nd down, roughly 15 yards to go for the first. Banks on the play-action pass along the near side. Hash mark. The catch made by Malachi Brown behind the defense and races into the end zone for the Martinsburg Bulldog touchdown. He got a step on Zylan Williams, and the throw was perfect, hitting him in stride, allowing Malachi Brown to pull it in and score a 53-yard strike.
Well, I think Williams, what he tried to do, what we call in secondary language, he tried to jump that one. In other words, he anticipated the ball coming, but I don't think he anticipated coming that quickly and that hard. And Banks got it through there, right between them. So another score, 42, with the extra point coming up with 1:48 to go here in the first half.
Second time that those two have connected for a touchdown in this first half. Extra point for Catlett is up, and it is through. He's perfect today, and with 1:48 to play in the first half, we take a 30-second break with Martinsburg in front now, 43-0.
J&P Service and Repair is the region's leader in tractor and agricultural equipment repair. And if you can't make it to them, they'll come to you with mobile service available. They also offer repair and maintenance for your light diesel truck. Now's the time to call J&P Service and Repair at 304-240-7379. Find out more online at jpservicerepair.com and check them out on Facebook. J&P Service and Repair, 2892 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg. Built on trust, founded on service.
We welcome you back into Coburn Field. Scoring drive brought to you by Smallwood Small Insurance, your total insurance solution. 121 Administrative Drive in Martinsburg. After the INT for Dorn Smith, 3 plays, 80 yards, took 35 seconds, 53 yards on the scoring strike from Banks to Brown. 43-0, the Martinsburg lead. Kickoff coming with the ball laying on its side along the near side hash mark. And Catlett pounds that one down the near sideline, and the football eventually goes out of bounds. Wow, that one hugged the sideline as Kai Walker got close, but eventually it goes out of bounds, and Spring Mills will take it at their own 35. You look at the prior 6 meetings in this series, the halftime scores 32-0. That was all the way back in that first season of 2013. 44-0, then 27-0, 48-0, and then 42-0, and now here we sit at a 43-0 halftime score. It was 42-0 in last year's matchup between these two that Martinsburg won by a 56-0 score. So just giving you an idea of how it has gone in this series. 9th possession from their own 35-yard line on a first down and 10. There's a little quick underneath his shovel pass, hauled in by Barrick, looking for running room to his right. And he will get twisted down after a gain of maybe a yard. Sign helping to get in there to disrupt that play, and also it looks like Anthony Smith. So a linebacker and a free safety in the backfield making that tackle, and it's no gain on the play.
Clock running, 1:20 to go here in the first half, and if you're Spring Mills, I'm going to take my time here. You don't want to do something crazy here, throw another interception or, something crazy and allow Martinsburg to score one more time before this halftime.
Second down and 10 from their own 35. Henson has that shotgun snap, gives a little pump fake. It's a run all the way, and wow, Terrell Good right there to wrap him up. They'll mark the progress at the 30-yard line, -5 yards.
And the right thing for Spring Mills. That's the right thing. I really think you don't want to do anything, again, like I said, kind of crazy. You're way behind in this football game, and a lot of people think you're not going to make it up on one score attempt. We're down to a running clock with 30 seconds to go here in the first half. It's going to bring up third down, third and long, about 15. This will probably be the last play of the first half.
Yeah, they will have to run a play. 13 seconds on the play clock, so roughly a 10-second difference. Henson awaiting that snap. Looks like in the backfield joining him is Sanner as the running back. Henson up, he's going to throw. Lofts it up deep along that far side and intercepted as Anthony Smith is able to pull that one in. The INT will come at the Bulldog 46 with 7 seconds left in the first half. So Anthony Smith gets the INT, turnover number 2 coming in this first half for Spring Mills. And now Martinsburg, let's see if they'll kneel on it or just heave one deep.
I think Spring Mills was trying to catch Martinsburg, except they were napping on that play and kind of put it up in the air, which is not a bad play, not a bad situation for them. I think Martinsburg will probably just simply run it or take a knee here, one or the other, and call it a half.
Banks is going up under center, so you imagine he's going to drop to a knee, and he does. So the time winds off the clock, and we head into the locker room hearing from head coach David Walker.
Coach, there in that first half, maybe not the start you were looking for, but your special teams really did a nice job to get you guys jump-started.
Yeah, I mean, Gerard's, so he made some great plays. Yeah, we started out a little flat, but then we picked it up a little bit. But, we'll just see if we can get a little better.
Defense is still playing another stellar game.
Yeah, they are. They're playing really well. And they're going to have to continue to do that.
Congratulations, Coach. We'll talk to you after the game.
Thank you.
Thank you. There you go. Just a couple of thoughts. Let the coach get in there and talk to his team.
Well, it's been a productive first half. Yeah, the execution not as crisp, I know, as the coaching staff might like, but hard to argue with a 43-0 lead. Our halftime brought to you by Joe Ferretti Law Office. We'll get into our halftime activities after this 2-minute timeout. It is West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
J&P Service and Repair is the region's leader in tractor and agricultural equipment repair. And if you can't make it to them, they'll come to you with mobile service available. They also offer repair and maintenance for your light diesel truck. Now's the time to call J&P Service and Repair at 304-240-7379. Find out more online at jpservicerepair.com and check them out on Facebook. J&P Service and Repair, 2892 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg. Built on trust, founded on service. Who should you call when it comes to your real estate legal needs?
This is Chris Luttrell, local real estate attorney with offices in Martinsburg and Charlestown. Let's be direct. Buying or selling your home is a matter not to be taken lightly. At my firm, Luttrell LC, we possess the experience and knowledge to represent you and ensure your most important investment is protected. Give us a call at 304-267-3050, 304-267-3050, because at Luttrell LC, your home is our business.
Prepare for what's next, or to plan ahead. We're here. Brown Funeral Home, a legacy of service since 1880.
Black dogs on three! 1, 2, 3, black dogs! Who let the dogs out?
It's time for today's halftime show. We'll recap the scoring, bring you first half stats and analysis, and check in on the action around the Eastern Panhandle and the Mountain State with the out-of-town scoreboard. So let's return to the field and get things started with our Talk Radio WRNR broadcast team.
Chair of the West Virginia Community.
And we welcome you back into Coburn Field. The Hall of Fame activities going on as it is Hall of Fame night here at Coburn Field. We are efforting to get some of the information that is being shared with the crowd on hand here and see if we can bring that to you as we go a little later on into our halftime report. The halftime show brought to you by Joe Ferretti Law Office, delivering first-rate service and results for our clients. Vehicle accidents, slip and fall, medical malpractice. Call the Joe Ferretti Law Office for a free consultation at 304-596-8854. Along with Vic Holmes, I'm Matt Miller. We'll send it back to Matt Crawford in the studio in just a moment. Jason Coleridge down on the sideline. Ash Gurry, our on-site producer, and Zach Van Meter and Eric Sterick working today's cameras. Vic, first half in which Martinsburg did come out a little bit sluggish, 3 and out on their very opening possession, a short 34-yard drive on their second possession, and then an INT on that third possession, and still just a 7-0 lead. They did lead 15-0 after one, but it was really special teams that got some points for him as Gerard Bowie had a couple of punt returns, and while that helped to spark as far as points on the board, the offense eventually able to get going, and the defense, wow, they have stymied Spring Mills.
Well, let's face it, Matt, we're spoiled. You know, we came out here, we expected to be like 40-0 in the first 3 minutes of the ball game. It didn't happen, and all of a sudden, we're looking forward to next week, or looking past this week into next week. things like this happen. It's a ball game. Spring Mills came to play. They were ready to play. They showed some grit out there. They did some good things out there. They attacked Martinsburg. They said, we're going to come right at you, and we're going to give you our best shot, and they did. I think it just sometimes that things don't fall into place exactly all the time that we expect, and I think that's kind of what happened in this ball game early in the game. You look around, you say it's 43-0 at halftime, and say, oh, they're not playing well. A lot of teams would like to say, be up 43-0, and say, hey, we're not playing well, we're this or we're that. But I think that's the biggest thing here is the fact that not every night you can come out and have your best game and do everything as pristine and crisp as they have been doing. Maybe tonight is their night that they stumble a little bit and then, and get it back together as we have seen here.
What you might call a bit of a grind. Good teams still have to grind out wins sometimes.
Sure they do, and they make mistakes, and as good you can make some here tonight, and also the fact that things didn't go smoothly for you, they're not going to go smoothly all the time. They haven't had many bumps in the road here. Maybe that first quarter was a good bump in the road for them for experience for down the road.
Well, Martinsburg with the lead here at the intermission. It is the Bulldogs out in front by a 43-0 score. Well, stay with us. We'll be back here at 2 Coburn Field in just a little bit. We'll run some of the numbers from the first half, but right now we send it back to the studio. Matt Crawford standing by with our halftime scoreboard show. It is West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
If you have been injured in an auto accident or due to someone's negligence and you want to know what your rights are, call Ferretti Law Office at 264-8505 to discuss your claim for free. Attorney Joe Ferretti is prepared to answer your questions and explain your options. Put Joe Ferretti's legal experience and history of proven results in your corner to fight the bullies from the insurance companies. At Ferretti Law Office, we're here to help you win.
My family, we're always on the move. Little brother is living it up.
What's up, sis?
See Mom made dinner?
I will see you there.
And my big brother, he's got his hands full. But when Mom says come home for dinner, what could possibly stand in our way? Nothing. When you're part of a family like this, you always show up. The Honda family of SUVs, awarded Best SUV Brand for 2019.
Miller Honda, south of Winchester, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. www.mymillerhonda.com.
They're my closest friends. We've been through a lot together. Seeing our kids off to college, Kelly losing her mom, my 50th birthday. I trust them with so much. So when it came to my finances, I trusted Kelly's referral to her Ameriprise advisor. Beth gives me the comprehensive advice that helps me feel confident my financial future is secure. With the right financial advisor, life can be brilliant. Ameriprise Financial.
Floodwaters can spread E. coli bacteria. Here's Bill Kearns from the Berkeley County Health Department about what to do if your well is tested positive.
If it's just a one-time contamination, you can superchlorinate your well, which we have instructions at the health department. They could call and talk to us. You're providing an excessive amount of bleach down the well. Then you do a runoff to get that out of the system, to get the bleach through your lines, get any contamination out of there. You do a runoff of so long, and then you can have it tested again.
The Berkeley County Health Department, 122 Waverly Court in Martinsburg. Call 304-263-5131.
Welcome into the Halftime Scoreboard Show. Matt Crawford here with you in the Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10 studios. 43-0 at the half. Martinsburg all over the Spring Mills Cardinals, but really not a bad defensive effort so far. Special teams has played a big role, not just in the 2 touchdowns by Gerard Boo, but also setting up the Dogs with pretty good field position. The offense has produced as it always does, but that defense for Spring Mills, not bad at all. They're actually playing pretty well in that first half. See if it keeps up in the second half. Before we take a look at some of the highlights, let's take a look at the scoring drives. It was Elijah Banks to get the game started. A 10-yard pass to Gerard Bowie. That would make it 7-0 to close out the first quarter. Malachi Brown, 34 yards on a quick little catch and run up that Bulldogs sideline. 15-0. Following the 2-point conversion. That was after 1 quarter of play. In quarter number 2 was a 52-yard punt return by Gerard Bowie, 22-0 at that point. Then a 59 22-yard punt return for Bowie, that making it 29-0. And at that point, you felt the wind come out of the sails a little bit for Spring Mills, and really saw the Dogs get into more of a groove offensively, defensively, although that front seven, once again for the Dogs, playing extremely well, and nobody's really been able to run against them so far this year. It was Elijah Banks keeping it himself, 11 yards on the touchdown run, and then a 53-yard bomb once again up that Bulldogs sideline. Elijah Banks to Malachi Brown, 43-0, your halftime score. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from half number one with the Martinsburg Spring Mills game.
For Elijah Banks, he will fake that give and then throw on the quick slant, and Gerard Bowie makes the catch between two defenders in the end zone for the Bulldog touchdown.
Well, get back for Martinsburg.
Well, Banks to throw, receiver screen near side, caught by Malachi Brown, fake to the right, comes back to the left, a little high step at the 20, goes to his right at the 15, avoids tacklers down the near side numbers into the end zone for the Martinsburg Bulldog touchdown. Oh, what a run after the catch for Malachi Brown. That's 11 yards. Newman to punt it out of there. Low line drive, spiraling kick on a bounce. Taken at the 48-yard line in Spring Mills territory by Gerard Bowie. Gets by the first man, tries to let the blocking set up, does get to the near sideline. He's to the 30, down the 20, to the 10, cuts back to his left and into the end zone for the Martinsburg Bulldog touchdown. That'll be 52 yards on the punt return, although hold on, a flag down at the 14-yard line. Well, along with Vic Holmes, I'm Matt Miller. We heard from Jason on the sideline, Matt Crawford at the studio, Zach Van Meter and Eric.
Punting has not been good.
Snap is back, and Newman gets it away, and Gerard Bowie's got it at the 41-yard line, coming here to the near side, able to make a man miss, looking to get to the sideline. He's to the 40 and the 35, moves outside to the 30, stays in bounds, and there he goes into the end zone. Gerard Bowie with another punt return touchdown. This one is going to cover 59 yards.
And no.
Banks taking that shotgun snap. He's going to keep it, coming here to the right, inside the 5 and into the end zone for the Martinsburg Bulldog touchdown. Wasn't touched until he got practically to the goal line.
And I'm not even sure if that was the play designed. I think there was probably a mix-up in the backfield on that one. He ended up keeping it.
In what is now their 7th ever meeting. Henson throwing deep along that far side into the end zone. Diving for that one. Did he come up with the INT? Yes, he did. The diving interception on that far side. And that is Dorn Smith who gets the pick.
43-0 your halftime score. Martinsburg all over Spring Mills. Martinsburg trying to go for win number 49 in a row and stay undefeated going into their game against Salem. We'll tell you what that Salem score is, playing Patrick Henry tonight, a team that Martinsburg is familiar with from games and scrimmages in the past. We'll also tell you what's going on around the Eastern Panhandle, a couple halftime scores and scores that are right before the half. We'll also give you all the AAA scores around the Mountain State coming up next in the halftime scoreboard show. Again, your score at the half, it is Martinsburg 43, Spring Mills 0. We're back in 60 seconds.
Let's talk trash, because when it comes to trash, you have options. Panhandle Dumpsters is a local family-owned garbage hauling company serving both residential and commercial customers with weekly trash pickup, dumpster service, yard waste pickup, and bulk pickups too. Panhandle Dumpsters will give you a free trash can and provide curbside service for just $23 a month. Panhandle Dumpsters features a fleet of quieter, eco-friendly garbage trucks, thereby reducing the noise usually associated with pickup. Switch now and save up to 30%. Call 833-DUMP-STR, panhandledumpsters.com.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
Welcome back into the halftime scoreboard show. 43-0 our score between Martinsburg and Spring Mills. The Dogs on top at the half. Elsewhere in the Eastern Panhandle, a EPAC matchup, one of the oldest rivalries in the Mountain State and the oldest rivalry in the Eastern Panhandle. Musselman at Hedgesville. It's all Appleman, 42-6. Washington playing AA Frankfort tonight at the half, or at least getting close to the half. Last updated deep in that second quarter, 28-13, that Frankfort advantage at home, and the Jefferson Cougars on a bye this week. Let's take a look at some of the other scores from AAA. We'll also update you on that Washington Nationals game. We will join in progress following the Extra Point post-game show tonight. Number 1, Cabell Midland taking on Princeton. All Cabell Midland, 54-0 at the half. Spring Valley over Riverside in the second quarter, 20-6. Spring Valley the lead in that one. A game played earlier in the week, it was Wheeling Park beating Morgantown 34-28. Wheeling Park now 5-1 on the season. Hurricane in the second quarter is up by 10 points, 10-0 over Huntington. Lewis County AA taking on Buchanan Upshur, and it is Lewis County with a 3-touchdown lead, 28-7, that game in the second quarter. Greenbrier East taking on Oak Hill at home. Oak Hill, a AA school. In the second quarter, Greenbrier East up by several touchdowns, 35-7. Mountain Ridge taking on University, a tight game in the first half. At the half, 14-7. Mountain Ridge with that 1-touchdown advantage. Albert Gallatin, Pennsylvania, taking on Hampshire tonight. The Trojans looking for their first win of the season. Not looking so good tonight. 28-0, the halftime score. Albert Gallatin up at the half. And South Charleston taking on Woodrow Wilson. 27-0, South Charleston with the advantage in the second quarter. And our last AAA game of the night, St. Albans hosting Lincoln County, 18-6. St. Albans up in that one. Both those teams 0-6, so somebody going to get their first win of the season tonight. Next week's opponent for Martinsburg, Salem. This game has been circled on the schedule since it was put on the schedule in the offseason. They're taking on Patrick Henry, 2 predominant Virginia powers in their classification. Patrick Henry up by 1 touchdown, 21-14 over Salem at the half. So looks like Salem is going to be a good opponent for Martinsburg next week, and really looking forward to that one. But still, a half of football left in this one before we can get to Salem next Friday. And in baseball right now, it's 0-0 in the top of inning number 2. Runner on second for the Washington Nationals, 1 out against the St. Louis Cardinals. The first game, a best-of-7 series in the NLCS. The winner of this game, or this series rather, goes on to the World Series. And right now, the Nationals, a runner in scoring position. Michael A. Taylor up to the plate. We will join that one in progress following the Extra Point postgame show on Talk Radio WRNR. All right, that's going to wrap up our halftime scoreboard show. Again, your score at the half, it is Martinsburg 43, Spring Mills 0. We will send it back out to Matt, Vic, and Jason for the second half on the backside of this 2-minute timeout. This is West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
Hi, this is Eric from Hagerstown Ford. I keep telling you that Hagerstown Ford has completely changed the car buying experience forever. And with a return policy easier than Walmart, Hagerstown Ford has a goal to deliver 350 cars and trucks per month. And when I say deliver, I mean deliver to you, where you are, just like Amazon does. And if you don't want it, return it. No questions asked. The only way Hagerstown Ford can accomplish this extremely aggressive goal is to make the car buying process fast and easy. We simply refuse to play the dumb back-and-forth games that most dealerships want to play. There's absolutely no reason for you to waste your precious time at a car dealership. I assure you, there is no dealership from Winchester, Virginia to Washington, D.C. that can beat our price. There's no dealership that will allow you to return your new car if you don't want it. Hagerstown Ford absolutely has the best price, and we'll bring the car to you. And if you don't want it, return it, period. No questions asked. There's no reason to buy anywhere else. Visit HagerstownFord.com to schedule your VIP experience and get your new ride delivered to you.
Contact dealer for details.
Hey football fans, it's your friendly alarm professional, Ben Copenhaver with Dynamark Atlantic Security. Who do you trust to keep your family and valuables safe? Integrity, trust, and professionalism are all reasons why Dynamark is the choice for home and business security in the Eastern Panhandle. Dynamark is proud to serve the community and be your first choice for alarm solutions. Don't become a statistic of crime today. Phone Dynamark Security to protect your tomorrow. Phone 304-671-2158.
All right, thanks.
welcome you back to Coburn Field as the Joe Ferretti Law Office halftime show continues. Time for us to take a look at some numbers from the first half, brought to you by Dobson and Associates PLLC, providing all of your back office needs, including accounting, payroll, and human resources. Hey, they want to be your back office. Phone them at 304-264-0437 or stop by 217 West Burke Street in Martinsburg. Well, let's begin with Spring Mills in the first half, running 36 plays for 24 yards, just 4 positive rushing yards, 20 yards in the passing game. They had just 3 first downs in the first half and turned it over twice on a pair of interceptions, as Dorn Smith got one and Anthony Smith got the other for that Bulldog defense. It was 3 penalties for 38 yards for Spring Mills in the first half, and on third down conversions, just 1 of 10, albeit most of those third and very long, and they go 1 of 2 on fourth down conversions, converting the only time on that fourth down on a fake punt. A couple of individual numbers. Starting quarterback Chase Henson, 5 of 18 passing for 20 yards, 8 carries for 5 yards, 2 carries for 6 yards coming for Bernard Newman, 1 carry minus 1 yard for Isaiah Sanner, and 4 carries for minus 7 yards for Dominic Buskey as the starting tailback. Now for the Martinsburg Bulldogs in the first half, 26 offensive plays for 181 total yards. That is 63 rushing, 118 passing. Martinsburg had 8 first downs in the first half. They were penalized 6 times for 30 yards, and they had 1 turnover on an INT that was made by Zylan Williams. Martinsburg went just 1 of 4 on third down conversions. They were 0 for 1 on their lone fourth down conversion attempt. Individually for the Bulldogs, Elijah Banks, 5 of 13 for 118 yards, has thrown for 3 touchdowns and that 1 pick. His top target, Malachi Brown. It's a, best effort for him this season. 2 catches, 87 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Malachi Brown. His prior high, 58 yards on 4 catches at Sharando. Meanwhile, 2 grabs, 17 yards, and a touchdown for Gerard Bowie. A catch for 14 yards for Anthony Smith. On the ground, 7 carries, 50 yards, leading the way for Naeem Kearney. 2 carries, 17 yards for Trey Sign. There was a team carry there at the end of the half on the kneel down for minus 2 yards. And Elijah Banks, minus 2 yards rushing on 2 carries, but does have an 11-yard touchdown run. He also took a 13-yard loss on a sack earlier in that first half. And by the way, Gerard Bowie, not only the receiving touchdown, but 2 punt return touchdowns in the first half from 52 and from 59 yards out. That is a look at the first half numbers, brought to you by Dobson and Associates PLLC, providing accounting, payroll, bill pay, human resources, and IT services. And they want to be your back office. Stop by at 217 West Burke Street in Martinsburg, or give them a call at 304-264-0437. Vic, you got guests that keep coming up here. Must be a special night at Coburn Field.
Oh, well, it's Hall of Fame night, and I got an opportunity to meet a couple people that Tal Thompson is a guy I coached here at Martinsburg, and great person, great individual. His dad is a coach here as well. Just a great family, a military family, and I haven't seen these guys in years and years, and just listening to what Tal has done over the years, just fantastic. And Mikey Grantham, he's probably one of the few guys who's on the state baseball championship and the state basketball championship, and he's probably as unsung as it can be, and quiet and reserved. But he's a guy that, he doesn't stand out in the crowd, but he did everything well, and everything was asked of him, and he's done a great job in the community as well here.
And we'll be calling his son's name before long, as he's playing freshman football right now at Martinsburg.
Right, and I give Mikey Grantham a lot of credit for, his diligent work he does with the youth here in Martinsburg, Berkeley County, and, with the, especially the youth football program. He's done a tremendous job, and, that's where it all starts, believe it or not.
Let's give you a little more on each of the inductees as we got this information during the half as the various members were being introduced to the crowd on hand here. You mentioned Tal Thompson, a member of the class of 1992. He describes himself as the tallest member of the drumline and jazz band. How tall is he?
About 6'6", 6'7".
There you go, yeah. A standout as he lettered in soccer and basketball while here at Martinsburg. Also, Gene Butts, a member of the class of 1954, a band member on the girls' basketball team and a member of Future Teachers of America and the Spanish Club, and crowned as the band sweetheart. No surprise there.
No surprise whatsoever, but a tremendous person, individual. I forget all the other stuff, just a tremendous person, period. That's all you can say about it. If you ever met her, you'll never forget her.
You mentioned Mikey Grantham, member of the 1994 state basketball champion team and the 1995 state baseball champion team, which, by the way, our own Vic Holmes was the head coach of that 95 baseball championship. A standout athlete, football, basketball, and baseball. Butch Pennington, a member of the class of 1965. He played football, he wrestled, ran track, and cross country. He was named a CVAL championship wrestler back in 1964. I could see that.
Yes,
definitely.
Yes, definitely.
And then you've got Tom Neal. Tom Neal was my gym teacher back in my elementary school days. Described as an excellent athlete, teacher, mentor, and community member. He received all CVAL and tri-state honors, both on offense and defense, as a captain of the football team, and competed on the state level in track in both shot and discus. And looks like he probably still could compete a little.
Well, no doubt about it. And I think Tom is also a member of the Shepherd Hall of Fame as well. And I still think he missed his calling. He should have been a professional Santa Claus, but that's the great individual he was. I mean, and still is. He's a guy that, you could ask him a favor, he would do it. And he's just one of those type of people that you had to have in your life. If there's ever one type of person, Tom Neal was that type of person. Great individual.
Congratulations to each of the newest members of the Martinsburg High School Athletic Hall of Fame on this Hall of Fame night here at Coburn Field. Maybe not a Hall of Fame performance in the first half, execution-wise, by Martinsburg, but still good enough. A 43-0 lead over Spring Mills. That wraps up our halftime activities. We're ready for the second half kick, brought to you by Bears Repair at 904 Winchester Avenue in Martinsburg. Hey, you got automotive troubles? Kick off your search for the right mechanic at Bears Repair. You can call their certified mechanics at 304-262-0208 or stop by again 904 Winchester Avenue in Martinsburg. Well, Vic, the Bulldogs with the lead, and remember, they won the opening coin toss and decided to defer, and that means they get the football to start this second half.
Yeah, and this is, one of the things we want to look at here in this second half is the execution of this football team. We weren't, people weren't pleased with the first quarter. They expect the same thing every week, which is perfection, and you just don't have it. These are human beings. They're kids, and, those kind of things. Things don't always go as planned. But they were able to work their way out of it and settle in and look like the Martinsburg football team that we've seen all year. So I think the second half is going to be very interesting as well. I think it's a second start, and let's see what happens here in the second half. I think you're going to see this team just be a little bit sharper than they were early in this football game.
Hayden Pack kicks it off the tee. Nice high deep kick to the far side, taken at the 10-yard line. Sprinting towards the near side of the field, looking to see who's on that return, getting across the 25 and the 30. Has a seam to the near sideline at the 40 in the midfield stripe. And yep, he is going to go all the way 90 yards on the kick return for Joshua Montalegre, the 5'10 senior on the return. He's listed as a defensive back. We don't call his name often, but wow, what a great return. He showed that speed to get from the far side numbers to the near sideline, and some nice blocking downfield.
Yeah, some nice blocking, and what I liked about the blocking, there were no clips and no late hits and anything of that nature, and that's discipline. You got to have good discipline. This team has a lot of this to go on: punt returns, kickoff returns, and very rarely do they ever have penalties on those. So good job by the special teams and getting their team prepared and to do the right thing and get it done without being penalized.
3 special teams touchdowns tonight, a pair of punt returns, and now a kick return. Touchdown and penalty markers fly as Chris Catlett is putting the extra point up and through. I think we may have 12 men on the field for Spring Mills, and there it is, illegal participation. And I guess Martinsburg will have to re-kick. Again, it's one of those penalties, I believe you can refuse and just keep the football at the 3.
Yeah, you can refuse it. You can refuse any penalty that you want. And the smart thing is to do, not that I'm smart or anything, but is to refuse it. Because, again, trajectory of the ball is tougher the closer you are to the goal. So keep it there.
And that's exactly what Martinsburg will do. Snap is back. Placement kick. It is on the way, and it is good. Just 7 seconds gone in our second half, and we take a break with Martinsburg out in front now, 50-0.
At Anthony's Pizza Inwood location, nobody does it better. We make our own dough and we bake it fresh twice daily. That's freshly baked twice a day to make sure your pizza always tastes great. Take advantage of our Anthony's Pizza special offer. Get 2 large one-topping pizzas, just $17.99. And when you buy 3 12-inch subs, the 4th one's on us. For the best in freshly made pizzas, subs, calzones, stromboli, lasagna, and more, it's got to be Anthony's Pizza, 372 Middleway Pike in Inwood. Call 229-7373 for delivery. Anthony'sMenu.com. Remember when you were a little kid and saw your first deer?
Oh, how cute.
As an adult, maybe you've had a different experience.
Where'd that come from?
Bambi mess up your dream machine? Call Cody's Auto Body today at 304-901-4777 and get the work done right the first time. Cody's Auto Body, 851 Wilston Street in Martinsburg, has a team of auto body professionals with a lifetime of experience putting your ride back together again, regardless of how it got that way. Cody's Auto Body.
50-0, the Martinsburg lead. Getting ready to kick this one away is Sam Duffy. Duffy approaches, high short end over end kick, taken at the 16-yard line. That's Newman working to the far side hash marks, so squeezes through a little opening across the 30 and gets taken down right around the 37-yard line. On that special teams tackle for Martinsburg, Hudson Clement.
And as you see, as we see, that is the starting defense for Martinsburg basically coming back out on the field. We've got 11:36 to go here in the third quarter. Got a long way to go, and obviously now you can start thinking, yeah, we got a big game next week. But these guys have not been on the field for 4 quarters in a long time. These guys need some work.
Yeah, got to go back to that Academy Park game where they played a good bit of that contest and a good one against Sharando the week before that. Here is a pitch in the backfield going to Newman, who has to reverse field, heading back to his right, and Terrell Good runs him down and makes the tackle at the 30. Looks like they'll spot it at the 33.
You know, that was really a great play that time. He had an opportunity there. Malachi Brown had a chance to get him there. He was able to reverse field and go the other direction. And then you get a defensive lineman to cut you off coming back the other way in the open field. Just that's a great defensive play.
Yeah, Terrell Good has been a fun one to watch. 6'3", 252. He's a senior, and you've watched that progression from his sophomore to his junior and now to this, his senior year. He's a good one. Second down and 15 after that loss of 5, back to the 32-yard line where they spot it. Henson out of the gun, fakes the pitch, keeps it, looks for running room right. There's none. That's Good and Bednarski who wrap him up. Or excuse me, Lucas, Ty Lucas, that's 59, helping to wrap him up. A loss of another yard.
This is a defensive front here. Looks relatively inspired here in the third quarter here, coming out at the start of this quarter. You know, they didn't look this sharp and this aggressive at the beginning of this football game.
Third down and 16 coming for Spring Mills, 1 of 10 on third down conversions in that first half. Martinsburg with a 50-0 lead. 10 minutes on a running third quarter clock. The Dogs well on their way to their 49th consecutive win. Play clock down to 2, down to 1. Henson takes the snap, throws far side, high and incomplete. Wanted to get that one to J.B. Barrick, and out there was the outside linebacker, Kevon Warren, and it went right through his hands.
He can't believe it. It's going to bring up a 4th down, 4th and 16, and We got another opportunity for Martinsburg to have a short field. And, of course, this Spring Mills having trouble with their kicking game.
Yeah, a short field or even a punt return, right?
Oh, yeah, that's even worse for Spring Mills, that is.
So there to punt it away will once again be Bernard Newman. Left foots it out of there, running up on it, making that catch on the run. Gerard Bowie coming here to the near sideline. He's to the 40-yard line, has a wall to the 30, to the 20, jumps over a man there, stays in bound, and he's going to dive into the end zone for the Martinsburg Bulldog touchdown. Gerard Bowie has his third punt return touchdown of the night. Are you kidding me? 4 special teams touchdowns for the Bulldogs.
4 special teams touchdowns. I think we may have to call the SSAC. That may be a record.
It may be.
It may be a record. Also, you might have to call Guinness Book as well. I mean, you think about that. 3 in 1 ball game, and we still got a quarter plus to go.
Boy, he came up and caught that one on the run right near the midfield stripe. I'm going to call it again about 52 yards on that kick return, which would give him, or punt return, which would give him 3 of 50-plus yards. Extra point attempt is up, and it is good. And with 9 minutes, 35 seconds to play in quarter number 3, we take a break with Martinsburg in front now, 57-0.
Hi, this is Eric from Hagerstown Ford. I keep telling you that Hagerstown Ford has completely changed the car buying experience forever. And with a return policy easier than Walmart, Hagerstown Ford has a goal to deliver 350 cars and trucks per month. And when I say deliver, I mean deliver to you, where you are, just like Amazon does. And if you don't want it, return it. No questions asked. The only way Hagerstown Ford can accomplish this extremely aggressive goal is to make the car buying process fast and easy. We simply refuse to play the dumb back and forth games that most dealerships want to play. There's absolutely no reason for you to waste your precious time at a car dealership. I assure you, there is no dealership from Winchester, Virginia to Washington, D.C. that can beat our price. There's no dealership that will allow you to return your new car if you don't want it. Hagerstown Ford absolutely has the best price, and we'll bring the car to you. And if you don't want it, return it, period. No questions asked. There's no reason to buy anywhere else. Visit HagerstownFord.com to schedule your VIP experience and get your new ride delivered to you.
Contact dealer for details.
It is Nate Romer who added the extra point, now getting the kickoff along the near side hash mark at the 7-yard line. That's Newman racing to the far side. He gets an opening and into the clear where it's just the kicker to beat, headed to the far side. Nice job by Romer to eventually force Bernard Newman out of bounds at the Bulldog 34-yard line.
That's probably his first tackle of the year. Yeah. He doesn't like to make many. As a kicker, you don't want to because you're usually the last man of defense.
Yeah, use the sideline to his advantage. Let's check in with Jason on the sideline. Reports brought to you by Mike Folk for Governor. Find out more online at folk4wv.com. Jason.
Matt, when this game's over with, I guarantee you Coach Walker's going to be very pleased with the way his special teams have given them a lift tonight when their offense has sputtered. Their defense has looked good, but that special teams has just looked phenomenal so far this game.
Yeah, that's got to be a record. I can't remember in my time doing games of 4 special teams touchdowns in one game and 3 punt returns. Chase Henson out of the gun, awaiting that shotgun snap. He keeps it. He faked the give to Buskey and then moved to his right where he was quickly taken down. Ty Lucas really playing a great game tonight, helping to make that stop for a loss of 2 yards.
Defensively up front, there's just been a solid wall. Those guys have done a tremendous job. I think they've only had one real positive run on a quarterback keeper earlier in the first quarter, but since then it's just been just like a brick wall up there. And not only that, it's been a lot of lost yardage plays.
2nd down and 12. Let me see if I can tally up those lost yardage plays. 8:30 on a running third quarter clock. Henson rolling near side, throws a little high and incomplete, leaping into the air, J.B. Barrick, and it's through his hands. And with the incompletion, it'll bring up a 3rd down and 12.
Oh, it's probably good he overthrew his receiver, because had he thrown it down to him, Anthony Smith had a beat on it, was going to pick it off, and it was just too high for Anthony and also too high for his receiver. That's going to bring up a 3rd down. 3rd down and we'll call it about 12. 8 minutes, 32 seconds on the stop clock, 57-0. Martinsburg leads it.
Vic, are you ready? 14 plays for -1 yard or more in this football game.
Well,
on 3rd down and 12, Henson wanting to set up the screen, and nobody is home, and the pass falls incomplete. I think he was trying to get that one to J.B. Barrick, but he never got his head turned around to try to look for that football, and with the incompletion, brings up a 4th and 12, and a situation at this spot on the field, the Bulldog 36, Spring Mills will go for it.
Well, you got to give you got to give the X to the offensive line that time. They didn't do a very good job of disguising that screen. It was supposed to be a screen. Generally on screen passes, the offensive lineman blocked for a 1,001, 1,002 count, let the guy go through. Seems like they came through like a sieve, and right away he had to throw the pass too soon.
On 4th and long, here come the Bulldogs. Henson hit as he lets it go along the far side and knocked away at the last moment. Very nice play out there by the Bulldogs secondary. That looks to be 9, Anthony Smith, and it is.
That's amazing. He is actually behind him on that particular play, the receiver. But when you have that kind of speed and athletic ability to be able to recover, it's really great for your secondary people. They challenge you. They get up, they play man-to-man, they challenge you all the time.
Turnover on downs. We'll give it to Martinsburg with 8:20 remaining in quarter number 3. 1st and 10 from their own 36-yard line. Their first offensive play of this second half as they returned the opening kick and then returned a Spring Mills punt for a pair of third-quarter touchdowns. Elijah Banks out of the gun. Will have it back to his left side. Snaps a little high. Bobbles it, grabs it, hands it off. Coming near side, Naeem Kearney. Kearney with blockers in front, down the near sideline. Penalty marker comes down on the play as Kearney goes in for the score. That was a great block by Anthony Smith. He pancaked the defensive back, and they call a hold.
That was a bad call. That was right in front of us. That was just a great call that time. His hands were inside. He didn't hold.
28 yards into that run is where the penalty will be marked off, as we're going to get -10 on a holding penalty, and that will be 7 penalties, 40 yards against Martinsburg, and the Boo Birds are out, not liking that penalty call.
I don't like it either. I mean, regardless of the score, I just like to see the game officiated well, and that was just not a good call. That was pretty obvious.
Still a gain of 28, gives a 1st and 10, but it does take away what would have been a 64-yard touchdown run. 8 carries, now 78 yards for Naeem Kearney. Kearney in the backfield, taking this handoff, coming here to the right, bounces off the pile, and then gets tripped up. Nice tackle by Zylan Williams, bringing him down inside the 40, mark him at the 39, a pickup of about 7.
Kearney's one of those guys who will run up in there and he might run into a tackler or one of his own linemen. He'll bounce back out like a pinball in there. And he has this ability to be able to find those holes.
Yes.
He finds those holes up in there. He's got great vision as a runner.
I was going to say, I remember you talking about it last year. Good eyes. Pass near side on a wide receiver screen, caught by Jarvis Thurston. Quickly darts through some blocks by the other wide receivers, and then down the field, hit by Bernard Newman as the corner makes the tackle inside the 25 to the 23-yard line. 16 yards on that game.
Again, 7 minutes, 20 seconds ago in the third quarter, and I look for this Martinsburg starting group to be out there the remainder, at least, of this quarter.
Banks now completing 6 of 14 passes. 134 yards on the night. On 1st down and 10, Banks going to give to Kearney. Here to the right side. Oh, boy, look at the big hole open up to the 15 and the 10. Slips the tackle, stays on his feet, spun around, and then hit and brought down just shy of the 5. I think they're going to mark it at about the 6, although they may give him that 5-yard line.
Another good run, another good job of just simply being determined to keep your feet, keep it moving, and you really had to wrap him up. I mean, he's a small guy, but you really got to wrap him up and bring him down. So it's 1st and goal at the 5-yard line, 6:40 to go, running clock, 57-0. Martinsburg on the verge of tacking on another.
Naeem Kearney over 100 rushing yards on the night. They'll hand him the football again on 1st and goal from the 5, moving to his right, finds a cutback lane to his left, and steps into the end zone for the Martinsburg Bulldog touchdown. Kearney went for 132 yards and a score against Sharando, 148 yards, but didn't find pay dirt against Hedgesville. He now, with that 5-yard run, is up to 108 yards on 11 carries and has his first rushing touchdown of the night. For Naeem Kearney is 8th on the season, and Martinsburg is over 60 points. On for the PAT. Let's see if this is Romer or Duffy. The snap is back, placement and the kick, and that is Sam Duffy, and he puts it up and puts it through. We will take a break with 6 minutes, 26 seconds to play in the third, and Martinsburg now in front, 64-0.
We all know what a good time looks like, but what is it made of? We can think of a few things. In this case, it's handcrafted food to gather around, an ever-changing variety of wine, and a Friday night. Do yourself a favor. Experience the good in a good time.
Remember that last trip to the auto mechanic?
I also think your solenoid gasket is bad.
What?
Yep, that'll be another $500.
Forget that and go to D&N Auto Specialist at 230 Tavern Road, Martinsburg, where honesty is their best policy. Serving the Eastern Panhandle since 1974, D&N Auto is family-owned and operated, specializing in exhaust alignments and tires. From general maintenance to major overhauls, they'll treat you right. Call D&N Auto Specialist at 304-267-4078.
Now the ensuing kickoff, that is Romer out there to do the kicking. Nate Romer. He approaches, bounces it down the near side of the field, grabbed by Newman at about the 24-yard line. Works to the far side, numbers out beyond the 30, looks for a little wiggle room and gets beyond the 35 and taken down out at about the 37-yard line. Drive summary for the Bulldogs, a service of Smallwood Small Insurance, your total insurance solution. 121 administrative drive in Martinsburg. 5 plays, 64 yards, 1 minute, 54 seconds. 5 yards on the touchdown run for Naeem Kearney. 64-0 is the Martinsburg lead. So from the 38-yard line of Spring Mills, the Cardinals will have the football. It will be their third offensive possession of this second half. Vic, you talked about it earlier, the ways that Martinsburg can hurt you. The Bulldog offense has now had the football for a grand total of 1 minute and 54 seconds in this third quarter. They scored, but they've also scored on a punt return and a kick return, 21 points on the board, and the offense has barely held the football. Handoff going to Buskey, it looks like, on that carry. On 1st and 10 from the 38, Buskey's going to pick up 2 out to the 40-yard line. And no, it wasn't Buskey, pardon me. That's Isaiah Sander. That's a 2-1 on the carry. And so Sander picks up 2 yards. We had him getting 1 carry in that first half. That one went for -1 yard, so he's into positive territory with that one. 2nd and 8 coming. 5 minutes, 40 seconds, and counting on the third quarter clock. Martinsburg on their way to win number 49 in a row. Henson out of the gun. Snap is low. Bends down, picks it up, and now no place to go. They will hold on to him and eventually bring him down for a loss. They'll put it back at the 38, so he loses the 2 yards that were gained on the prior play. And it will bring up 3rd down and 10. Vic, I mentioned earlier, there are 3 teams that came into this season with better than 40-game winning streaks. Choate Rosemary out of Connecticut had their streak snapped at 49. It was Wake Forest High School out of North Carolina had their streak snapped this year at 45. And Carl Albert, Oklahoma had their string snapped at 40. Martinsburg right now 2nd in the nation with the 49-game winning streak after tonight. Just 1 of 12 on 3rd down conversions. Spring Mills from their own 38 facing that 3rd and long, and the pass, a slant along the near side, too high for the intended target, Jalen Burton, and even if he catches it, you got Jarvis Thurston right there and another host of Bulldogs ready to put the hit on him.
That's going to bring up a fourth down, another punting situation, and guess who's going back? Gerard Bowie. If I'm Spring Mills, I'm going to punt that thing anywhere he isn't.
Get it out of bounds.
Yes. Rugby kick, anything just to keep him from getting the football.
And that is Pack out there now doing the punting, and Bowie comes up on it at the far side 41, but could not get to it really cleanly, and so he ended up letting it go by, and it takes that Spring Mills roll all the way down to the 20-yard line. And that punt will cover 42 yards with no return. And this time on the punt was Hayden Pack. Pack with 13 punts for an average of just about 35 yards a punt this season. That's his first today.
Well, what I did like about that play was Bowie did the right thing. It was going to be a tough one to handle. The ball was coming down. It was wobbling, and he got away from it. Now, so often guys will try to make that play and end up fumbling the football and losing the ball. 4:27 remaining here in the third quarter. First and 10. 64-0. Martinsburg on top.
From their own 21-yard line, give is to Kevon Warren. Warren up the middle of the field, shedding tacklers to the midfield stripe, breaks another tackle, spins away at the 45, and there he goes. Right down the middle of the field, racing into the end zone for the Martinsburg Bulldog touchdown. It'll cover 79 yards.
Anthony Smith down injured on the field. Looks like it may be
it looks like a cramp.
Yeah. That was unbelievable. That was an unbelievable run.
Jason, you saw that one coming right at you. What did you see from the sideline?
He just kept his feet moving. I mean, he just shedded tackles after tackle after tackle. I got to tell you, that's going to definitely be a candidate for the electrifying play of the game. That was absolutely an incredible run and a lot of willpower there.
Oh, my goodness. Kevon Warren is the second leading rusher in yards for the Bulldogs, 134 yards on just 9 carries and 3 touchdowns. Now he has 4. He's averaging 14.89 yards a carry. I think that goes up when you carry one for 79 more.
Yeah, that doesn't hurt the average any, that's for sure.
I mean, look at what he did. I mean, against Hedgesville when he came out and just ran the football virtually at will and was able to make things happen. 113 yards on just 3 carries and 2 touchdowns in that game.
But the thing about it is you bring a guy like him in on the field and give him the football, and you've been playing, working hard and tired, and here he comes, and this guy is probably maybe the fastest guy on the field. Man. Now all of a sudden you've got to contend with him.
4:09, so that took a grand total of, make sure I get this right, 18. Make it 18 seconds as he goes for the score.
Anthony Smith finally gets off the field there. Looks like it's a cramp, and all indications that it is.
And that is Romer this time who adds the PAT. Nate Romer for the Bulldogs. And we still have 4:09 remaining in quarter number 3, a 30-second break, and then we come back. Martinsburg over the 70-point mark for the second time this season. They're in front, 71-0.
You care about your car, so you take it to the best mechanic. You love your dog, so you take it to a vet you trust. So why go with just anyone when it comes to your insurance? With a local Allstate agent, you get expert advice you can trust and the best coverage for you. And because they live in your community, you can always count on them to be there when you need them the most.
Call Allstate agent Gary Kelly today at 304-263-4596. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
Well, we may just get our matchup of undefeated teams next week. Salem down 21-14 at the half has scored 16 unanswered in the third quarter, and they lead Patrick Henry 30-21 in that big matchup down near Roanoke, Virginia. Martinsburg travels to face Virginia Power Salem next Friday night. Ensuing kick squibbed along the near side, taken by Williams, trying to head to the far side of the field and run down by Malachi Brown, who will make the the tackle. That was Romer. And with that kick, I believe, let me make sure if that's a 19 or a 16. No, that's 16. So that was Sam Duffy with the kick. And with the return, Zylan Williams thought he could get across the field but could not.
Well, that just goes to show you the number of athletes they have on this football team and the speed and just guys who have the uncanny ability to get places and they know angles. And anytime you play sports, if you know angles and you know how to deal with it, you can do a lot of things there. And we've seen that happen here quite a bit. You put all those things together, that's what ends up, this is what you end up with, this type of a football team.
Spring Mills football 1st and 10, their own 23-yard line, now down 71-0. 4:02 left, quarter number 3. Henson out of the gun, brings a new back into the backfield. Might be Aiden Smoot. I think that's a 28. Tell you what, whoever designs uniforms, again, I'm not a fan. I'm sure they look wonderful on your TV screen if you're watching on TV 10 or the WRNR TV page on YouTube. But when you're looking from the press box, even through binoculars, red numbers with black trim on white uniforms. Sounds like they should jump out, right? But no, the way that some of the numbers are designed, the 6s and the 8s and so forth, you can barely see the little white sliver to know what that number is. And boy, it makes it challenging at times. Timeout on the field. Spring Mills trying to make sure that they get everybody on the same page before running this first play of this possession. A reminder, tomorrow we got Shepherd Rams football coming your way on TV 10 with the 11:30 pregame, the 12 noon kickoff. The Rams renewing the Great Valley Classic against Shippensburg. On the radio side, we'll have West Virginia Mountaineer football tomorrow. 12:30 the pregame, 4 o'clock the scheduled kick in Morgantown, West Virginia versus Iowa State. Out of the timeout, there is the snap back and the handoff to the tailback, and he is very quickly taken down. I believe that was Smoot on that carry. Waiting for him to jump up and turn around.
Lucas Stanover in on the tackle there. Big guy, 6'4", 380 pounds.
Yeah.
Good gracious.
And the brother of our guest today on our Dog Tag Senior Profile, Ty Lucas, who goes 6'3" and 310 pounds.
Those guys obviously have not missed any meals, that's for sure.
2nd down and 10. There is the snap back. Henson's going to hand it off. And again, the tailback, and that is Smoot, works through a hole and drags the tackler ahead. Spot his progress at about the 28. That's a nice gain of about 5 yards. 3rd and 5 coming, and just 1 of 13 on 3rd down conversions so far for Spring Mills.
2:55 to go here in the 3rd quarter. As we said before, 71-0, and it has not. It's just gotten uglier and uglier as we go along for Spring Mills. Excuse me, not able to really generate any real offense.
Jason Colrick sent me the text. I'll give it to you in a moment. Henson on the quarterback keeper, stood up at the line of scrimmage and driven backwards. He does get a gain. They'll mark it for about a yard, yard and a half out to the 30-yard line, and it'll bring up 4th down. I'm imagining they'll bring the punting unit on. Clock winding, 2:15 and counting. Nope, looks like they may go for this one. Now just 1 of 14 on 3rd down conversions. They're 1 of 3 on 4th down conversions. This would be a 3rd down and about 3 in order, 4th down and about 3 to try to get the 1st down. Henson awaits that snap, and it is low, and now they blow the play dead. And yeah, the only one that moved was the center, who snapped the football back, and then there was some other movement going on. And so what do we have? Procedure. I think it might have been a double snap.
Yeah, I think they were probably trying to. I thought they were going to try to draw them offside, and it just didn't work at all.
First penalty of the second half for Spring Mills. We would have them now at 4 penalties for 43 yards.
That's going to bring on the punt team, and Martinsburg scurrying in and off the field trying to get the punt return team out there. And that's a tough team because the punt return team second group is tough. And we finally get 11 players out there.
It is Pack who will punt it away. Hayden Pack gets that one out of there. Nice booming spiraling kick. Return man Jarvis Thurston goes back to the 39-yard line. He's got it. Working his way here towards the near side. Slips through a couple of tackles. Still on his feet to the midfield stripe. Now he's going to go back to his left. He's got a blocker out in front. Thurston to the 20. He's to the 15. Stiff arm to the 10, 5, and into the end zone for the touchdown. He's going to cover about 62 yards on that punt return.
Really unbelievable, the returns that we have seen here tonight.
Wow. Jarvis Thurston able to return that one 62 yards for the score. That punt itself covered 37 yards. It was really a nice spiraling kick from Pack. But just a great return for Thurston, able to shed a couple of tacklers, cut back to his left, and then get some blocks. The extra point attempt for Duffy is blocked. Nice job by a special teamer working his way to the football. That might be an 80. Colin Gates, who was able to make that play. Again, hard to read that number. Well, 54 seconds remain here in quarter number 3. 77-0. Martinsburg out in front, and they have scored 3 special teams touchdowns in this second half after 2 in the first half. 5 return touchdowns in this football game. Unbelievable.
It's just been pretty much a nightmare here for Spring Mills in many respects. Should they like to have fared better in this football game? They knew that what they were going up against, but they'd like to have been able to accomplish a few more things, like run the football a little bit more, maybe throw a little bit better, and again, not be such just blown out of the water in the special teams.
It is Romer. Nate Romer puts it on the tee at the 40 to our left. He approaches. Kick is away. High end over end kick. Williams comes up, takes it at the 15-yard line. Heads towards the middle of the field to the 20, and down he goes. No place for him to go as Rafael Taylor Parati came flying down the field to help make that tackle. Looks like Kevon Warren out there as well, a whole host of Bulldog special teamers. Hope I got that number right as I'm watching guys come off the field.
Yeah, and one guy was trying to get in on the tackle coming down who normally is not on the kick team Lucas. How would you like to have a 380-pounder come running at you on the kickoff?
Not necessary. No, not at all.
I think I'll pass on that.
77-0 Martinsburg. 48.8 seconds to play quarter number 3. Henson out of the gun, taking that snap and handing it off, and the ball carrier over top of the left side of his line. That is Smoot, who's going to work it out close to the 24-yard line. And we've got a flag down at the end of the play.
I think they're going to call a face mask, but it wasn't. I think he grabbed him right around the helmet. Let's see what the call is.
Yeah, that was the call.
Yeah.
Plus 5 yards on top of the 5-yard gain. So it was the incidental face mask penalty. 8 penalties, 45 yards unofficially against Martinsburg. Not a bad total on the evening, and that will move the football out to the 29. Should be a 1st and 10, and it will be. So that first down is the first down of the second half, and just the 4th first down of the night for Spring Mills. Clock winding down to 20 seconds in this third quarter. Henson has that shotgun snap, hands it off to the ball carrier, running to his right. Gets bottled up after a gain of just about 3 yards. Again, that's Smoot who gets that carry.
Big Lucas on the tackle again. That's going to be the final play of the third quarter.
It'll be a 2nd and 7 coming for Spring Mills as we head to quarter number 4 after this timeout. A running clock the rest of the way with Martinsburg leading 77-0.
Ron Hawker here. You have no idea what Johnny's goes through to bring you the best seafood around. We have snow crab clusters, shrimp, crab meat, fish, all the best seafood you want at Johnny's. It's a tough job out here, but our customers are worth it. Johnny's with 2 great locations, 1456 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, and Route 11 south in Chambersburg.
If you're not progressing in healthcare, you're falling behind.
W Medicine has planted itself here, and they're the first university that I've found who wants to take ownership of this population of Western Maryland, Southern Pennsylvania, Eastern Ohio, and the good people of West Virginia. And it's really refreshing to see.
I was able to do things that the patients were going away for, which is good for the patients, and it's good for us because we have more resources. It certainly has helped take us to another level.
Along with Vic Holmes, I'm Matt Miller, Jason Colrick on the sideline, Matt Crawford at the studio. Thanks to Zach Van Meter and Eric Sterick running cameras today. Ash Gurry, our on-site producer. It'll be 2nd down and 7 from their own 32. Spring Mills has the football. Down 77-0 in the clock already, starting a running clock through this 4th quarter. In at quarterback this time is Burton. He's going to hand that football off, and that looks like Nolan Schwinier. He is a sophomore running back, and he'll carry it over top of the left side of the line for a pickup of a few. Schwinier, that's got to be the son of the David Schwinier, who was a Martinsburg standout back in his days. That gain for 4 out to the 36-yard line. So 3rd down and 3 from their own 36. 1 of 14 on 3rd down conversions. Can they get it here? Martinsburg getting a lot of their younger guys in there now. Clock winding as we're under 11 minutes left. That's Burton trying to get Schwinier situated in the backfield.
Still a game.
Yep, the clock down to zeros on the play clock. While the game clock continues to roll, the play clock is still in play, and that'll be minus 5 yards. 5 penalties, 48 yards now for Spring Mills. That's a tough delay penalty, as it is going to move the football back to the 31-yard line and make this now a 3rd down and 8. And Vic, the Martinsburg offense, has barely had the ball a little better than 2 minutes in this second half, and has had 2 offensive touchdowns and 3 special teams touchdowns. On 3rd down and 8, Jalen Burton, he's a senior, hands the football off, and no place to go as the ball carrier bottled up and taken down for a loss at the 29-yard line.
Yeah, he was pretty much ducking his head as soon as he got the football there. He was hit very, very quickly.
Micah Selman on that stop of Schwinier. It'll be a loss of a couple back to the 29.
Selman coming out of the ball game. Austin Stevens, number 61, coming in to replace it.
4th down and 10. And they will line up to go for it from their own 29-yard line. Burton awaiting the snap. Schwinier is behind him. There is the snap. He'll fake the give. Burton keeps, and he gets snowed under in the backfield. Great job by that Bulldog defense getting penetration. Aiden Kreider helping to lead the way to force the hand of Burton, who gets tackled for a loss all the way back to the 23-yard line, minus 6.
Well, we kind of saw this last week with the scoring being well out of hand, and we see guys from both teams helping each other up, patting each other on the back, something we didn't see last week. It was kind of ugly last week. 2 weeks ago when that sort of situation occurred. I think it was too much put into the other aspects other than playing the football game. So again, hats off to both of these teams, and this is a situation which nobody wants to really be in. 77-0. Yeah, you're on the long end, okay, no real big deal, but you definitely don't want to be on the short end.
Well, they now set the play clock at 25 seconds. Coach Walker right now letting the clock wind. It's down to 8:25 left on a running clock in this football game. 77-0. Martinsburg in command, ready to pick up their 7th win in this series, 7-0 against Spring Mills. That'll be 3-0 this year against Eastern Panhandle Athletic Conference teams, and that is now 73 straight wins against EPAC schools, and we'll get a delay of game penalty on Martinsburg. -5 on the delay. 9 penalties, 50 yards, the unofficial total against Martinsburg, and it looks like that's going to go up by 5 more yards as this game plays out. Although now, with a 1st and 15 at the 28 of Spring Mills, JV quarterback Peyton Curry comes in to lead the charge. Curry out of the shotgun, taking that snap, handing that one off. That's Parati breaking tackles to his right, gets down to the 10, cuts to his right to the 5 and into the end zone, and a couple of flags come down, and we'll have some kind of a hold or an illegal block on the play. It'll still come at the 17-yard line, which will be 11 yards into that carry for Raphael Taylor Parati. So holding on the Bulldogs, 10 penalties, 60 yards on Martinsburg. It gets marked off from the spot of the foul, so they move it back to the 27-yard line of Spring Mills, where it is still 1st down and about 14 or 15.
On the running clock, 6 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the football game. I think Coach Walker may take another 5-yard penalty, very possibly.
Yeah, the team is yet to break the huddle, and we're down to 4 on the play clock. Yeah, we've seen him use this strategy many times with a large lead like this. A chance to just let that clock continue to wind as we have the continual running clock in the 4th quarter in West Virginia when a team has a lead that goes 35 points or more.
They may even punt it away here. Let's see what happens.
It looks like it, with the ball being moved back to the 32-yard line. Jarvis Thurston, he is coming into the contest. Thurston is a backup punter for Martinsburg. Awaits the snap at his own 42. He's got it and just kind of punches it out of there. Low spiraling kick. Return man does make the catch at the 8-yard line and then very quickly gets hit and taken down. That looks like Nick Harbaugh, who will make that catch at the 8-yard line.
Ooh, dangerous catch there.
24 yards on the punt. Down to the 8-yard line. And that is where Spring Mills will get it. And let's see if this will end up being their final possession of this ball game with about 5:26 on a running 4th quarter clock. All Martinsburg in this one. They will improve to 7-0. Looking forward to a matchup that could be a matchup of undefeated teams next week down in Salem, Virginia. For Spring Mills, they'll fall to 3-3 and get ready for a matchup on the road at Albert Gallatin in Pennsylvania. Handoff to the running back, met in the backfield and brought down for a short loss on the play. Looks like a loss of a yard as Isaiah Sanner getting that carry. Sanner with now 3 carries, and that is a loss of 1, so no yards for him in those 3 carries. 2nd and 11 from their own 7.
Right now we're running in a bunch of JV guys in and out, in and out. 4:25 to go on the running clock.
15 on the play clock, and the quarterback standing in the shotgun with the arms crossed. letting that time wind down, and that quarterback again looks to be Jalen Burton, listed as a wide receiver. The senior takes that snap and hands it off, and that's Sanner pushing his way back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on that play. 3rd and 11 coming from their own 7-yard line. As we wrap up here, we will send it back, and Matt Crawford will have a brief post-game scoreboard show. We'll get out of here as quickly as we can as well to try to get you to Nationals baseball in Game 1 of the NLCS, joining it in progress as the Nationals play in St. Louis against the Cardinals. There is the snap back. Burton hands it off, and once again Sanner met at the line of scrimmage, driven backwards, never really taken down, and it's 4th and 11 coming.
That's exciting for these JV guys to get an opportunity to play in the varsity game, and regardless of the score or the situation, they get that chance, and these guys are loving it. 2 minutes 55 seconds remaining, 77 to nothing in this football game, and I really believe that they still need to take a look at these scoring types of games.
It looks like Pack is going to come in and punt it out of there. Hayden Pack will punt from his own end zone. He bobbles the snap and barely gets it away. Nobody's back to return, and it will roll out to the 38. Will it get to the 39? Yes, it will. So 32 yards on that punt with no return, and with 2:24 left, Martinsburg takes over. And a chance to run out the clock in this one. 1st down and 10 from the 39 in Spring Mills territory. Martinsburg next week headed to Salem. Spring Mills home next week. We'll have another Spring Mills game for you on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10 at the end of the year. And the final week of the regular season, they will host Hedgesville. That could be an important game for this Spring Mills team in their hunt to get back to the playoffs.
It most certainly will. I think it will be a big one.
After the matchup with Albert Gallatin, Spring Mills goes to Parkersburg. Not going to be an easy game. Then they're at North Hagerstown, and they're struggling a little bit this season. Yes. So that's a very winnable game there. And then home against Hedgesville to close it out. So
that could be the pivotal game right there.
Very well could be, as they will fall to 3-3 now in this one. Martinsburg 7-0. So Martinsburg taking that delay of game penalty. 12 penalties now. They're up to 70 yards. Moves the football back to the 44-yard line in Spring Mills territory.
Coach Walker's not the most popular person on this field tonight, according to his 11 JV guys out there. They want to play. They want to run some plays, but he's just going to take the 5-yard delay and another 5-yard penalty with the clock running. Well, we got a chance for
5 yards being marked off again for delay of game.
I don't know why the official wants to start the play clock so fast.
He's going to make them take one more delay penalty.
Yes.
So the Dogs will finish with unofficially 14 penalties for 80 yards, including 5 delay penalties in the waning moments of this one. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second on that play clock. They will not even reset the football after this delay of game. I guess they will go ahead and set it down on the ground as the clock winds down and the players begin to meet at the midfield stripe. All right, we'll be back to tell you all about it in our abbreviated version of the post-game show, brought to you by the Palace Lounge on Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg. Your final tonight from Coburn Field. All Martinsburg as they shut out Spring Mills 77-0.
Shirts, sheets, hand towels, bath towels, gym wear, underwear, or whatever where. You can't skip laundry, but now you can skip adding detergent. Fill once and wash up to 40 loads. Select Whirlpool washers with Load and Go dispenser. Another way we're shaping the future of care.
Remember when you were a little kid and saw your first deer?
Oh, how cute.
As an adult, maybe you've had a different experience.
Where'd that come from?
Bambi mess up your dream machine? Call Cody's Auto Body today at 304-901-4777 and get the work done right the first time. Cody's Auto Body, 851 Wilson Street in Martinsburg, has a team of auto body professionals with a lifetime of experience putting your ride back together again, regardless of how it got that way. Cody's Auto Body.
Is your dog driving you nuts? Does he have behavioral issues? Is she not listening? It doesn't have to stay that way forever. Hi, I'm Julie.
And I'm Josh. We own and operate Julie's Canine Academy, a family dog training business.
You are not alone, and there is hope for you and your dog. With the right training and right approach, we can help with any problem. We provide total off-leash training on our 6 acres of dog paradise in Falling Waters. Visit juliescanineacademy.com. That's Julie's, K with the number 9, academy.com.
Any dog, any breed, any problem.
Black dogs on 3! 1, 2, 3, black dogs! Who let the dogs out?
Coming up next, we've got complete game stats and analysis. We'll recap the scoring, name our offensive and defensive players of the game, and take a look ahead to our next broadcast. All on the postgame show. So let's get started and head back to the stadium to rejoin our Talk Radio WRNR broadcast team.
Well, back again here at Coburn Field. Matt Miller and Vic Holmes along with Jason Colrick on the sideline. Matt Crawford at the studio. Zach Van Meter, Eric Sterick operating cameras. Ash Gurry is our on-site producer. Time for us to get into the post-game show. We'll head down to Jason to hear from Coach Walker in just a moment. Vic, just a really strong special teams and defensive performance tonight. Not that the offense was bad, but at times when it didn't click, the other parts of the game did.
It certainly is. And, you know, it does every week. They just seem to keep pressure on you. You know, you can't let up on defense. You can't let up on offense. You can't let up on special teams. So there's no area of where you can be weak. If you're weak, this team tends to expose you. And even if they're not having a great night, like the offense wasn't clicking like we normally have seen, and of course that happens, you know, during the course of the year. But we have not seen the special teams play the way they played tonight as well. So they picked up the slack along the way for this football team. So as I've said before, they can hit you with so many things in so many different ways, and we showed that in tonight's game, and the fact of running the football, no, it wasn't great, but special teams overwhelming.
Let's send it down. Jason standing by with head coach David Walker.
Coach, I'm down here with Coach Walker real quick. Coach, have you ever seen that many punt returns in a game for touchdowns?
Not since I've been coaching. I mean, I'm sure maybe it's been done, but I've never, we've never done it. I've never seen it in all the high school games I've watched. But I mean, we just, we've got some amazing guys, return guys. But there again, I probably would have just kicked it out of bounds instead of kicking it to us as well.
And then you also had a kick return for a touchdown. I mean, just an amazing night. Maybe you guys started to struggle early on offense. Elijah wasn't as sharp, but your special teams really came through.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we started out, like I told you at halftime, I thought we started out a little flat, and but then we picked it up, and I thought we played well on both sides of the ball. So, and special teams was phenomenal. So,
Did you come out of the game healthy? I mean, I know you got a big matchup next week at Salem, on the road. You'd say it's going to be a tremendous atmosphere down there. You feel like you're healthy going into that matchup? Yeah,
I think we are. I mean, as far as I know, everybody's good tonight. So we get Teddy back next week, so we should be okay.
Obviously, you win this game. You said at the beginning of the game you've only concentrated. Have you taken the time to look at Salem and what kind of a matchup they're going to be against you guys?
No, not really. I glanced at the film a little bit yesterday, but no. I'll start looking at it probably tonight, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do. But I know they're always physical, just come right at you. So I'm sure that it's going to be a big challenge for us.
Last question: are you excited to get the team out on the road for a big challenge like that?
I am. I like traveling. I like for our guys getting out, and I think it's exciting for them.
Congratulations, Coach, on a 7-0 start, and we'll see you next week in Salem.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. There you go, madam, and keep it brief so that we can get to the Nationals game.
There you go. Let's get in our first break on our post-game show, brought to you by the Palace Lounge on Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg. They feature a full lunch and dinner menu with daily evening specials from 5 to 9, served in a clean, comfortable atmosphere. Their full menu can be found on the Palace Lounge Facebook page. Let's make it a 1-minute timeout, and then when we come back, we will run some of the numbers from this one and run some of our individual honors as well, as Martinsburg gets the win over Spring Mills. Tonight's final, 77-0.
They're my closest friends. We've been through a lot together. Seeing our kids off to college, Kelly losing her mom, my 50th birthday, I trust them with so much. So when it came to my finances, I trusted Kelly's referral to her Ameriprise advisor. Beth gives me the comprehensive advice that helps me feel confident my financial future is secure. With the right financial advisor, life can be brilliant. Ameriprise Financial.
Hey football fans, it's your friendly alarm professional, Ben Copenhaver with Dynamark Atlantic Security. Who do you trust to keep your family and valuables safe? Integrity, trust, and professionalism are all reasons why Dynamark is the choice for home and business security in the Eastern Panhandle. Dynamark is proud to serve the community and be your first choice for alarm solutions. Don't become a statistic of crime today. Phone Dynamark Security to protect your tomorrow. Phone 304-671-2158.
Back once again here at Coburn Field. Time to take a look at our post-game numbers, brought to you by Dynamark Atlantic Security, who remind you, don't be a statistic. Protect your family, home, and business with the local alarm professionals at Dynamark Atlantic Security. Give our friend Ben Copenhaver a call to learn more at 304-671-2158. They have great solutions and local monitoring, too. Let's begin with Martinsburg. Vic, how about these numbers? 7 second-half plays for 164 yards. Put it together with the first half, and it's 33 plays, 345 total yards, 211 on the ground, and 134 through the air. But here's the amazing thing. 5 special teams touchdowns with 4 punt return touchdowns and 1 kick return touchdown. Those total another 315 yards and those 5 scores.
You know, if I am one of Martinsburg's, I guess, opponents, I'll call them, I would be scared to death. I mean, I really would. I mean, if I had to go against this football team with seeing one guy running back 3 punts and you're running back kickoffs, and you can't really kick the ball to them either way. You've got the receivers that they have, the running backs, the speed that they have, and then you look at the guys up front that they have. I would be really, really concerned. I really would. If I'm Salem, I don't care how good they are, I would be really concerned, because this team is so solid all the way around, offense, defense, special teams, more solid probably than maybe even any of the teams in the past. This is probably the most solid team I think I've seen.
Salem getting the win. Well, not yet a final, but they lead Patrick Henry now 51-34. So that sets up a battle of undefeated teams, it looks like, next week at Salem. That is going to be a good one. We'll have a little bit more on that later on. A couple of individual numbers for Martinsburg. 11 carries, 108 yards, and a touchdown for Naeem Kearney. 1 carry, 79 yards, and a score for Kevon Warren. All he does is break big plays and score touchdowns. Elijah Banks, 6 of 14, 134 yards, threw for 3 touchdowns, ran for a score, also threw a pick. And Gerard Bowie, not only a solid first half with 2 receptions, 17 yards and a touchdown, but 3 punt return touchdowns for Gerard Bowie, 52 yards, 59 yards, and a second 52-yarder, 62 yards for Jarvis Thurston on his punt return, and 90 yards on the kickoff return for Joshua Montalegre. Just some of the numbers from this one. For Spring Mills, as good as it was in those regards for Martinsburg, for Spring Mills, it was tough. 57 total plays. I got just 26 yards, 6 rushing, and 20 passing. They went 1 of 16 on third down conversions, 1 of 4 on fourth down conversions. Never got any offense going against this stingy Bulldog defense. Time for us to name our collision of the game, brought to you by Cody's Body Shop. Boy, we had a number of those in the early going of this one. Do you have one that kind of stands out in your mind? I still go back to the early going, and a couple of the hits in that defense, just really stuffing the holes. Let's just give it to the defense as a whole, the way that they rattled around this Spring Mills team. Collision of the game brought to you by Cody's Body Shop, 851 Wilson Street in Martinsburg. Family-owned, Cody's offers superior customer service at a great price and performed by experienced certified technicians. Find them online at codysauto.com. That's COTYS auto.com, or phone 304-901-4777. Electrifying play of the game. The 79-yard run from Kevon Warren was good, but come on, a 90-yard kick return touchdown for Joshua Montalegra. I mean, that one was pretty dynamic as well. And all of those punt returns were pretty darn special for Gerard Bowie.
I like the 90-yarder. I just thought that was fabulous.
Electrifying play of the game brought to you by Orsini's Appliance in Martinsburg, offering top names in kitchen and laundry appliances like Amana, Maytag, Genair, KitchenAid, and Whirlpool, and for grill masters, Traeger wood-fired grills. Check them out online at Orsinis.com. One more award, the Julie's K9 Academy Top Dog Player of the Game. And for that, come on, Gerard Bowie, 3 punt returns for touchdown. Got to be a new state record, Jason Colrick. Got to be.
It's got to be. I mean, three punt returns for touchdowns. He had a touchdown catch as well, so he had 4 on the night.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid was electrifying tonight. He was just amazing. Definitely a top dog.
Yep.
Not only those 3 being a state record, I got to think it's got to rank up there in the nationals. National. I mean, how many people? I mean, you can come out here in a Pee Wee game and see guys play, and one guy is faster than everybody, and everybody in the stands doesn't get 3 returns on kickoffs, punt returns.
And it was just pointed out to me, he also had 2 touchdowns called back on him, where he would have had 6 on the night. So it's crazy.
There you go, Gerard Bowie, our top dog player of the game, brought to you by Julie's K9 Academy. If you're struggling with your dog or simply want your dog to learn basic obedience, check out Julie's K9 Academy. They work with any dog, any breed, any problem. Find out more online at juliesk9academy.com, or check them out on Facebook. One final 1-minute timeout, and then we come back to wrap up our Palace Lounge post-game show as we look ahead to what is next for both of these teams. Then it's an abbreviated version of our Extra Point post-game scoreboard show, so we can get you to Nationals baseball in Game 1 of the NLCS. Your final in this one tonight, Martinsburg over Spring Mills, 77-0.
Hi, this is Eric from Hagerstown Ford. I keep telling you that Hagerstown Ford has completely changed the car buying experience forever. And with a return policy easier than Walmart, Hagerstown Ford has a goal to deliver 350 cars and trucks per month. And when I say deliver, I mean deliver to you, where you are, just like Amazon does. And if you don't want it, return it. No questions asked. The only way Hagerstown Ford can accomplish this extremely aggressive goal is to make the car buying process fast and easy. We simply refuse to play the dumb back-and-forth games that most dealerships want to play. There's absolutely no reason for you to waste your precious time at a car dealership. I assure you, there is no dealership from Winchester, Virginia to Washington, D.C. that can beat our price. There's no dealership that will allow you to return your new car if you don't want it. Hagerstown Ford absolutely has the best price, and we'll bring the car to you. And if you don't want it, return it, period. No questions asked. There's no reason to buy anywhere else. Visit HagerstownFord.com to schedule your VIP experience and get your new ride delivered to you.
Contact dealer for details.
All right, let's get ready and wrap it up as we look ahead to next week. As we've already mentioned, Spring Mills has a matchup on the road at Albert Gallatin in Pennsylvania. Game time 7 p.m. next Friday night. And next Friday, we are on the road down in the Roanoke area, Salem, Virginia to be exact, as Salem. The Spartans, looks like they'll be undefeated. They're 1 week behind, so while Martinsburg will go in at 7-0, Salem will go in at 6-0. They have been a perennial power in their division in Virginia. Of course, Martinsburg, the 3-time defending AAA state champions and winners of 7 of the last 9 in West Virginia. This is a fun matchup coming up next week.
It most certainly will be. I think it's going to be great for both teams. And, you know, this is we're not going to say it's a rivalry we haven't played before. So, but, you know, a lot of people will look at it, well, if it's a great game, you know, this will be a great rivalry. I don't know, because of the distance between here and there and there and here. I don't know if it'll ever get to that point, but it's going to be a good one, I think, come next Friday.
It's my understanding it is a home and home, so we'll go down there this year. They'll come back next year, and who knows? Maybe it will be one of those. It's two good programs. If they can withstand the ride back and forth, maybe it will be a series that we could see a little longer than just the next 2 years.
Yeah, it's gotten difficult for Martinsburg finding opponents.
All right, that wraps it up for us here. But get ready, Matt Crawford has an abbreviated version of our Extra Point post-game scoreboard show back at the studio. Then it's off to Washington Nationals baseball in Game 1 of the NLCS. The Nationals did have a lead in the 5th inning. Matt will tell you more on that in just a moment. Thanks to each of our sponsors supporting our coverage of West Virginia high school football featuring the Martinsburg Bulldogs. Thank you for joining us at each of our broadcast entities. Thanks to both head coaches and athletic directors providing information and interviews for our broadcast, and to all the staff and folks at Coburn Field for their hospitality as we went on the air tonight. For our on-site producer, Ash Gurry, for Zach Van Meter and Eric Sterick running cameras, for Matt Crawford at the studio, Jason Colrick on the sideline, along with Vic Holmes, I'm Matt Miller, wrapping it up from Coburn Field, reminding you again, the final Martinsburg 77, Spring Mills nothing until next week. So long, everyone.
And that concludes today's postgame show. Be sure to tune in each week throughout the regular and postseason for more West Virginia high school football featuring the AAA Martinsburg Bulldogs. Today's game has been brought to you by
Parsons Ford, your friendly Martinsburg Ford dealer. Bechtel Jewelers, Route 11 South, Inwood. Berkeley and Morgan County Health Department. Prevent, promote, protect. Panhandle Dumpsters, because you have a choice. PanhandleDumpsters.com. Miller Honda, just one click away at MyMillerHonda.com. The Marius Group, start planning for a brilliant future. Johnny's, restaurant quality foods at wholesale prices. J&P Service and Repair, getting your tractor back in gear. Hagerstown Ford, FordofHagerstown.com. And WVU Medicine University Healthcare, West Virginia's largest healthcare provider.
The game may be over, but don't go away just yet. It's time for the Extra Point, where we add on scores and information from other games around the Eastern Panhandle and the Mountain State. So let's get it started as we head back to the Talk Radio WRNR studios.
Welcome back into the Talk Radio WRNR and TV10 studios. Matt Crawford here with you at the Extra Point post-game show. Matt mentioned it's going to be a quick one tonight, probably just some AAA scores, not all the highlights, or at least not all the scoring plays. We will give you some highlights from today's game. 77-0 was Martinsburg's win over Spring Mills. They're 7-0. 49 consecutive wins going into Salem next Friday. Let's real quick recap the scoring. Elijah Banks, a 10-yard pass to Gerard Bowie to get the game started. 7-0 at that point. Then it was a 34-yard catch and run to Malachi Brown at the dog sideline. 15-0 following a 2-point conversion. That was our score after one. Then came the first of 5. Yes, 5 special teams touchdowns in this ball game. A 52-yard punt return by Gerard Bowie, 22-0 at that point. Then it would be 29-0 after a 59-yard punt return touchdown, again by Gerard Bowie. Elijah Banks would use his feet. Not a phenomenal day for him passing the football, but that's going to happen in high school football. You're going to have one of those games. He managed to get one in from 11 yards out using his feet, 36-0 at that point, and then it would become 43-0 at the half when Malachi Brown would get a 53-yard touchdown pass from Elijah Banks. Well, the second half, 3 more special teams touchdowns, including that opening kick in that second half. Josh Montalegre, 90 yards on the kickoff return for a touchdown, 50-0 at that point in the ball game. And it would only go on to get worse for Spring Mills and better for the Dogs. Gerard Bowie, another 52-yard punt return for a touchdown, 57-0 at that point in the third quarter. Naeem Kearney would punch one in from 5 yards out to make it 64-0. Then Kevon Warren does what Kevon Warren does. Bounced a big 79-yard touchdown run, found the end zone, 71-0 at that point, and then 6 more points added on when Jarvis Thurston added a 62-yard punt return for a touchdown. Again, 5 punt returns, or 5 special teams touchdowns, 4 punt, 1 kick return in the ball game. A well-rounded game. Another one for the Dogs and the front 7 of the defense, looking as strong as ever. All right, let's real quick hit some of the highlights. Again, not all of them, because we do not have time trying to get to Nats baseball. Top of the 6th, 2 outs, as Michael A. Taylor just struck out Ryan Zimmerman standing on second base. We're sending you to that one as soon as possible. 1-0 in the top of inning number 6. But first, some highlights from the 77-0 win for the Dogs tonight.
For Elijah Banks, he will fake that give and then throw on the quick slant, and Gerard Bowie makes the catch between 2 defenders in the end zone for the Bulldog touchdown.
Well, for Martinsburg.
Now Banks to throw, receiver screen near side, caught by Malachi Brown, fake to the right, comes back to the left, a little high step at the 20, goes to his right at the 15, avoids tacklers down the near side, numbers into the end zone for the Martinsburg Bulldog touchdown. Oh, what a run after the catch for Malachi Brown. That's 11 yards. Newman to punt it out of there. Low line drive, spiraling kick on a bounce. Taken at the 48-yard line in Spring Mills territory by Gerard Bowie. Gets by the first man, tries to let the blocking set up, does get to the near sideline. He's to the 30, down the 20, to the 10, cuts back to his left and into the end zone for the Martinsburg Bulldog touchdown. That'll be 52 yards on the punt return, although hold on. A flag down at the 14-yard line. Roughly 15 yards to go for the first. Banks on the play action pass along the near side, hash mark. The catch made by Malachi Brown behind the defense and races into the end zone for the Martinsburg Bulldog touchdown. He got a step on Zylan Williams, and the throw was perfect, hitting him in stride, allowing Malachi Brown to pull it in and score a 53-yard strike. Well, Bernard Newman left foots it out of there, running up on it, making that catch on the run. Gerard Bowie coming here to the near sideline. He's to the 40-yard line, has a wall to the 30, to the 20, jumps over a man there, stays in bound, and he's going to dive into the end zone for the Martinsburg Bulldog touchdown. Top. From their own 21-yard line, give is to Kevon Warren. Warren up the middle of the field, shedding tacklers to the midfield stripe, breaks another tackle, spins away at the 45, and there he goes. Right down the middle of the field, racing into the end zone for the Martinsburg Bulldog touchdown. It'll cover 79 yards.
Kevon Warren, what a run that was, bouncing off tacklers, just throwing guys off of his back. Another good game for him, and he's just got one of those stat lines that you look at the numbers and you're, well, man, he must get a whole lot of playing time, and he does to an extent, but not to the extent that you would think he would have that many yards. Just bounces off one long run after another. Again, 77-0 your final in our game tonight. A couple of other Eastern Panhandle teams in action tonight, including the Musselman-Hedgesville rivalry. It went all Musselman. We'll tell you the final in that score coming up on the backside of this break. Also, what Washington is doing down at Frankford. Jefferson is on a bye. Then we'll give you the finals just from AAA tonight. Again, don't have time to go triple, double, and single A. And we'll try to get you the Nats game in the bottom of the sixth inning. If not, you'll have 7, 8, and 9 and hear it right here on Talk Radio WRNR. One more 1-minute break to take here in the Extra Point post-game show. Then we will send it off to Washington Nationals baseball. We will be back in 60 seconds.
The level of care that I got at WVU Medicine was top-notch.
If you're not progressing in healthcare, you're falling behind.
Is really an integration, looking at a clinical care network, looking at the good people who can help push the envelope and raise the bar for delivering quality healthcare product.
To have my life back is absolutely a blessing. I am beyond thankful for WVU Medicine. I absolutely 100% have my life back.
Is your dog driving you nuts? Does he have behavioral issues? Is she not listening? It doesn't have to stay that way forever. Hi, I'm Julie.
And I'm Josh. We own and operate Julie's Canine Academy, a family dog training business.
You are not alone, and there is hope for you and your dog. With the right training and right approach, we can help with any problem. We provide total off-leash training on our 6 acres of dog paradise in Falling Waters. Visit juliescanineacademy.com. That's Julie's, K with the number 9, academy.com.
Any dog, any breed, any problem.
The level of care that I got at WVU Medicine was top-notch.
If you're not progressing in healthcare, you're falling behind.
Is really an integration, looking at a clinical care network, looking at the good people who can help push the envelope and raise the bar for delivering quality healthcare product.
To have my life back is absolutely a blessing. I am beyond thankful for WVU Medicine. I absolutely 100% have my life back.
Welcome back into the Extra Point post-game show. Matt Crawford here with you in the Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10 studios. About to send you off to the bottom of the 6th inning for the Washington Nationals or the top of the 7th. Either way, we're getting you the last third of that ball game on Talk Radio WRNR. On TV 10, we will have local programming for about 20 minutes, then the re-air of the 77-0 win for Martinsburg tonight, like we do every Friday night after the game. All right, some finals from around AAA in the Eastern Panhandle, 62-2, or make that 62-6. Little dyslexia right there. Musselman getting the win over Hedgesville. That game has officially gone final. A lopsided victory for the Musselman Applemen, and another tough one for the Hedgesville Eagles in this tough stretch of games they have. The Washington Patriots were at Frankfort tonight, and a game that's not final yet, but 45-13 is Frankfurt's lead at the moment. That game in the fourth quarter, so it looks like the Patriots are going to fall tonight. All right, let's take a look quickly at scores around AAA around the Mountain State. Number 1, Cabell Midland gets a 54-7 win at home against Princeton. Cabell Midland remains undefeated. Spring Valley is in action tonight against Riverside. It's going to be Spring Valley going on for the win, 34-6 at last update in the fourth quarter. A game earlier this week, it was Wheeling Park getting the 6-point win against Morgantown, 34-28. Hurricane over Huntington, 24-7. A little bit of an upset in that game. Congratulations to the Redskins. They get back to 3-4, so right around that 500 mark. Lewis County gets the AA AAA upset as they beat Buchanan Upshur 42-14. George Washington up by 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter over Parkersburg, 21-7. Greenbrier East all over AA Oak Hill, 42-7. That game last updated in the third quarter, but you would assume Greenbrier East would go on for the win in that one. Mountain Ridge goes across the ridge to get a win at University, 27-15. Albert Gallatin, the team that will play Spring Mills next week, gets a 49-0 shutout win at home against Hampshire. The Trojans remain winless on the season. South Charleston gets a 55-0 win against Woodrow Wilson. 2-4 is now South Charleston. 1-5 is Woodrow Wilson. And St. Albans is going to get their first win of the year over still winless Lincoln County, 24-6. That game late in the fourth quarter. And a game that everybody was interested in, Patrick Henry and Salem, a game that you wouldn't necessarily expect to be interested out of Virginia, except, again, that's who the Martinsburg Bulldogs will play next week, and both teams will come in undefeated. The final in that one, thank you, Jason Colrick, 51-34. Salem gets to win in that one. Patrick Henry, no slouch, 4-3, so a little bit of a down year for them, but still a very good football program year in and year out, so should be a good one next Friday. Our pregame will begin at 6 from down at Salem, following Miller time at 5. Kickoff at 7 p.m. right here on Talk Radio WRNR on TV 10 and on WRNR TV on YouTube. Real quick, a little preview of what's going on this weekend. Again, we're sending you to the Nats game right after this. It'll be the 7th, 8th, and 9th. You'll get to hear on WRNR replay of the Martinsburg game coming up on TV 10. Tomorrow it'll be WVU at Iowa State. The Mountaineers trying to shake off a tough one at home against Texas last week. Then on Sunday, a football doubleheader. The Redskins will play in the Toilet Bowl at Miami against the Dolphins. Somebody going to get their first win in that game. And then Sunday Night Football via the Pittsburgh Steelers Radio Network. The Steelers are in L.A. facing the Chargers. Make sure you tune into Miller time on Monday, as we will have finals from around the Mountain State, reaction from the local games that took place tonight, and reaction from college football, the D2 and NFL level, along with the D1 level. Also on TV 10 tomorrow, it's at 11:30 pregame, 12 o'clock kick. Matt Miller and myself will have the call as Shippensburg comes into Shepherdstown to take on the Rams and renew the Great Valley Classic. All right, that is going to do it for all of our coverage tonight. Again, on the radio, we will send you to the Washington Nationals game. It is the bottom of the 6th inning right now. 1 down, Anibal Sanchez on the mound, and not going to say it, but he is not allowed. One of those things you don't talk about at this point in the game that's good, he hasn't allowed yet. I'll keep it at that, and you'll hear the rest, Charlie and Dave, coming up here in just about 1 minute. Thanks to all of our sponsors again tonight. For Matt Crawford, I'm reminding you our final tonight, 77-0. Martinsburg stays undefeated, 49 in a row. We'll talk to you next week from Salem.
And the extra point is up and good. That concludes today's broadcast of West Virginia High School football. All rights reserved. For the best in high school, college, and NFL coverage all season long, keep it tuned in to Talk Radio WRNR Martinsburg.
Hey,